It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Stacey Higginbotham's here, Aunt Pruitt, Jeff Jarvis, and yeah, I'm back, baby. We got lots to talk about, including the new paid version of Twitter. Is it worth $3 a month for Twitter Blue? A big fine for Google in the EU. Looks like you're going to have to pay it. And a look at Amazon's kind of dystopian Christmas commercial. It's all coming up next, plus a lot more on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust. This is Twit.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 637, recorded Wednesday, November 10th, 2021, Private Socks. This Week in Google is brought to you by Melissa. The U.S. Postal Service processes more than 98,000 address changes daily. Is your customer contact data up to date? Try Melissa's APIs in the developer portal. It's easy to log on, sign up, and start playing in the API sandbox 24/7. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. And by Akamai. Akamai powers and protects life online and is changing how we live, work, and play. See how Akamai is unleashing the internet of possibilities for the biggest brands in the world. Visit akamai.com/twig to learn more. And by Our Crowd. Our Crowd helps accredited investors invest early in pre-IPO companies alongside professional venture capitalists. Join the fastest growing venture capital investment community at ourcrowd.com/twig. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show where we cover the latest news from the Google versus the Twitter. We're going to have some Twitter, a lot of Twitter. Twitter's been busy.
A lot of Twitter.
Yeah, that's Jeff Jarvis. Hey, I think Jeff Jarvis deserves a special welcome. Let's just try this. I've heard we got this all set up here. He is, my friends, the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at Craig Newman. It's the barbershop version. Graduate School of Journalism at the City University.
Beautiful.
Thanks to our listener. Do you know his name? Thank you, listener, for providing us.
I don't have it in front of me.
He saved us money. We didn't have to go and buy it.
Oh, you didn't do it? You didn't do that too? I thought you were going to get the choir.
I forgot. I was busy. I was in Mexico drinking.
Geez, I'm hurt.
I drank a lot of mezcal.
I think we should have competitive versions.
Well, we can, and we will. I will buy that.
Craig's.
I will buy that.
Yeah.
Also with us, Mr. Aunt Pruitt in studio. It's very nice to see you, Aunt. Love it. Jake Overton. Thank you, Jake, for doing that. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jake Overton.
I think that's him singing, actually.
Yep.
Also here, and of course, the host of Hands on Photography, and the host of our brand new book show on the Club Twit Discord, Stacey
the very
Higginbotham.
first one.
Read your Murderbot diaries. Read them. When's the show?
11/19.
It is.
I'm sorry, I should say 11/19. It's November 19th.
Oh, 11/19. Yeah, that's good.
Friday night. Friday night.
Friday night
We're
book
going
group.
to talk about books.
And the nice thing is this book is a novella, so it's not too late to dig in.
And the extra nice thing is it's only, I think it's $3.99 or $2.99 on Kindle if you want to go there.
I already have it.
If you're on Kindle Unlimited, it's free.
Oh.
I had the audio version of it.
Oh.
I'm going to go through it one more time, at least the last third one more time.
That'll be fun. So it's a sci-fi book. It'll be our sci-fi book club hosted by Stacey Higginbotham, who is also the host of the IoT Show and StaceyOnIoT.com.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. Thanks so much
back, Leo.
to Jason Howell and his beard for hosting the show for the last 2 weeks. Why do you have a bottle of Macallan?
I wanted to, I ain't going to take up too much time, but I'm just going to put this QR code up there just like that. That's done.
Okay, do not scan that if you are afraid of profanities.
But I got a mystery box in the mail.
Aww.
And someone just kindly sent me a nice
with a QR code
of single malt scotch, the Macallan.
That's
with
good.
that QR code.
That's good stuff.
I don't know who you are, but thank you. Thank you so much. Means a lot. That message was very, very cool. Thank you.
I also brought back some mezcal.
I got some of that.
Oh, good. Yeah, we brought little bottles, which is enough. And then I have a big bottle, the Mike Elgin Gastro Nomad
Yeah,
official.
I saw that. He
Yeah.
has this like for all of the people that go on the trip, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We did
Oh, was this a gastro nomad trip?
Oh my God! If you
yeah, I wanna hear- I
ever
wanna hear
want to
about it.
eat, drink, and be merry in an amazing place, so Mike Elgin, as many people know, he was our news director for a couple of years. I tied him down. Actually, I literally had to tie his leg down.
He's a nomad.
He's a nomad, and made him live in Petaluma and for 2 years with his wife. But as soon as I let him go, he floated back up, and he's now he and Amira go all over the world. They've lived all over the world, and they decided to make some use of that by creating these gastronomad experiences. If you go to gastronomad.net, we did the one in Oaxaca. They said this is the last one they're going to do on Day of the Dead, although they will do Christmas next year. In Oaxaca, Mexico, they do Provence. Morocco is in multiple cities over 2 weeks. There's the Oaxaca experience. Barcelona, Mexico City. Their Prosecco is coming up, and Provence. I think it's last. I think there's like a couple more seats left in the Prosecco. It's a small group. There were 10 other couples, many of whom listened to it. Hello, hello, all of you, and we just had a blast. They rented a villa. And we all were in the same villa, and we did all these exclusive things, including my favorite, which was a cooking. You would have loved this one, Stacey. So Amira never tells us what we're going to do the day of, which drove Lisa crazy. But
Oh, yeah, that would drive
what
me
do I
nuts.
wear? What do I bring? Nope. Just she says wear comfortable shoes.
I like that. That's how it should be.
Some people, well, most of the people loved it. I was neutral. Lisa was going, "Arr." But so we just all they say is, have breakfast. We'll meet you downstairs at 9.
All right.
We get in the van. We show up at the big open air market. There's several in Oaxaca. Oaxaca's a big foodie town in Mexico. So we go to the open air market, and we are met by Chef Alejandro Ruiz, Chef Alex, who is the best known. He's actually put Oaxaca cuisine on the map. He has 3 restaurants. He has a hotel, but he's also
And Mike has
trained-
stayed in his home, right?
They're friends.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, but as we're going through the market with him and his amanuensis who was carrying bags and loading them with food, people go, "Are you with Chef Alex? Is that Chef Alex?" He's like a celebrity.
Oh man.
So we shopped for like 3 hours. We stopped and we had tacos at Doña Vales, which is apparently also famous because it was on Netflix, street food. And so they cleared it out the seats, even though it was jammed, and we sat down. And then we shopped, and then we went out to Chef Alex's boyhood home where he's built this complex, including they call them fire kitchens. It's all wood-fired. Big kitchen with lots of workstations, and we cooked for hours. Sat down. Among the things that we did while cooking was, at one point, Chef Alex says, "Okay, it's time to go get grasshoppers." So
Wait, what?
so that was kind of my wait what so we all go out to they have these
Comfortable
beautiful
shoes to stomp on them.
well, I wish we don't. I would have worn my grasshopper hunting shoes. But so we went out into the herb gardens. Apparently these grasshoppers taste like whatever they eat.
Oh, okay.
Chicken.
So chicken, that's it. Tastes like chicken. So we go out. Let me show you. I'll show you pictures of us. Let's see. These are we have tons of pictures because Mike took tons of pictures. This is all in the all in the kitchen. That's Chef Alex in the mercado as we are shopping. Let me see if I can find the grasshopper. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures. Here's Lisa with her grasshopper. So you catch these little buggers. There I am. See the bag full of grasshoppers.
Man.
So you catch these grasshoppers and they roast them and then they put them on top of the guacamole. It's part of the cuisine. We made mole, 31 ingredients.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Chocolate,
so good.
coffee, mole, mezcal. That's all we did all week. Was incredible. Highly recommended. These grasshoppers were in the yerba de conejo, which is bunny herbs. And that's, I guess, what they tasted like. But
Bunny herbs.
So did you eat them?
oh yeah, you know what? It's so much part of the cuisine. When you go to the market, there's like baskets of them,
Yeah.
giant baskets.
Yeah.
Of them. It didn't bother me. I mean, look, you're drinking so much mezcal that you could eat anything.
You don't care.
Here's what the wood-fired stove, one of the stoves, looks like. They're really...
Wow.
Pixel 6, by the way. Great camera for this stuff. Really had a good time.
You took the 6 Plus, right?
6 Plus. Pro. Not Plus. Pro.
Pro.
Wow.
Yeah, got a lot of great pictures. It was really fun. Anyway, I don't want to bore
Fresh
people.
tortillas.
I wouldn't.
Oh yeah,
believe-
everywhere fresh tortillas, gorditas. They have it was a Day of the Dead, so they have a lot of Day of the Dead, a lot of skulls and things. This is the giant kitchen area.
Ofrendas.
There's Lisa. Oh, we built like 3 ofrendas, literally 3 of them.
I believe it.
That's the altar where your ancestors come back to visit with you. Oh my God!
Your pictures look good, sir.
This was, thank you, from you. That's high praise. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
This was the iPhone Fix-It guy in the Mercado, in case you had any fix-its you needed to have done. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for asking.
Well, what was his thoughts on
what
the
was
right to repair?
I did not ask him about the right to repair. Mostly, I was only asking about the right to eat more chocolate, really, was what I was asking about. It was so much fun.
What was the best thing you ate?
These Doña Vale. So Doña Vale, it's a little just street vendor. She is making the tacos, and this is the Mercado. These were amazing, but everything was fantastic. It was just fantastic. She's been there for years. Look at that, Stacey. Look at these blue corn tortillas.
There they go.
Dude, that image.
This is
That's
Mike.
nice.
Mike was he had an A7 III, and he took a lot of great pictures.
Beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that great? And it's all wood fired.
I would like to not be here, and I would like to go to there.
There's Chef Alex showing us a pepper. My job was to strip the peppers of their seeds and stems so that we could just eat them.
Right.
I said, well, let's leave them in. He said, no, it's too hot for you.
Don't do that.
So hot. So hot.
He's great.
Not for you, Yankee.
Not
No.
for you. Yeah, really. Oh, I don't think so. So, big plug for gastronoma.net. If you there's small groups. Amira only does this in places where she knows everybody and knows all the foodies, food and wine. If you're at all interested, highly recommended. And it's not expensive for what you get. It's all everything's
All
included.
inclusive, right?
Yeah, not even tips.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us tip. So, it was really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to go
Thank
to
you, Mike.
Barcelona.
Yeah, cava. They
Oh,
have red wine.
do they-
The cava.
They're doing another Oaxaca in December.
In Christmas of next year. not this-
2022.
Yeah, next year. Do it, Stacey. Highly recommend
might.
it. Oh, you and Andrew
I
would
can always-
love it. And you know what? Bring your daughter. It would be...
I was about to say, can I bring my daughter?
Yes, absolutely. It would be such an experience. And Mike and
Well,
Amira would
we-
love to have you.
And we've been to Mexico before. I mean, she's got a Mexico City accent. So
That's perfect. That's perfect. So I came back and Twitter said, $3 please. Twitter blue.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Done. Done.
Yeah, you and me. I subscribed. What did we get? I don't know.
Yeah,
You get
really?
three
You
things.
I get it.
You get 3 things.
3 things.
You get a clock on your tweet with a little rotating, so you can think better of it. You can't edit it, but at least you can pull it back before it goes into.
But all that
ether
means
and
is they just not
posterity.
posting it.
That's all I do it. That's
Yeah.
good. 2 is it's scroll brought to life in that links to various publishers like the Washington Post from the Twitter feed will go there without ads. Doesn't get you around the paywall or anything. But it goes to an ad-free experience for that story.
And some of the
3
revenue goes to those publications.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then 3 is the return of a form of nuzzle. So hot news is whatever the people you follow on Twitter
Your peeps
have
are
been
tweeting.
linking to.
So that's what got me.
Okay,
'cause
that
I
would
miss,
be worth the
I miss
$3.
Nuzzle. I was a huge Nuzzle fanatic. So sad when they got bought by Twitter. So where do I go? There's a hot news.
If you go to
How do I-
there's a little fire on your left margin. At least that's on the web version. Let me see what it does.
Oh, on the web. So let me go on the web.
how do I give them money? I haven't seen any. I mean, I've seen
have-
the news, but I haven't.
You go to your profile.
I found it.
Call-
I just
Found it.
found it already.
and you'll see blue there. It's called
Never
Top
mind.
Articles.
It's in the menu, right?
Top Articles.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm seeing. To me, this is why I'm not a fan of Twitter. It's a little random. But anyway,
Well, if you follow Chris Cillizza, you deserve what you get.
I deserve what I get. You're exactly
Yes.
right. Top articles. Is this what you're? This is the new nuzzle. Is top articles.
Yes.
Okay.
So these are.
This is because
weird.
people I know.
It's the same as mine.
Yeah, because you
Scroll down.
you
Scroll
follow
down.
the same people I do probably.
Scroll some more.
I don't care
they're
about the
breaking.
Goddard School District ordering 29 books removed from circulation. I don't even know where Goddard is. How the media missed a New Jersey Senate candidate's racist social media posts. Malala got married. Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Mark Ruffalo and Jonathan Scott have electile dysfunction. Skip. Real earnings summary. Don't know. CNN poll. Skip. 51-month sentence for QAnon shaman. Oh, yeah, that was an interesting.
Oh, that's a big story.
They're going.
Yeah.
They're through the. I guess that's what you call throwing the book at him. Mm-hmm. And we'll see if he gets it. If they get it, but that's what the prosecutors are asking for. So these are. This is nuzzle. You're saying.
It's Nuzzle limited to
It's
Twitter.
It's not as good as Nuzzle was because I had different things, but these are articles most shared in my network of people. Can I change? It's only last 24 hours. There's no settings. It looks like for this, but that's okay.
I'm going to give it a try for a month.
I love Nuzzle.
For having Nuzzle-like features,
Yeah.
that's worth $3.
Well,
at
to me,
least
the best feature is look at my look. I made my Twitter feed purple, and I have a new Twitter icon.
Oh,
how
ain't
about that?
Well, ain't
now?
that cute?
That's worth $3 by itself. $3 a month. Actually,
Well, I have good stories in mine.
oh, good.
I have Chris Dixon on the future of crypto, although that's so old. The Verge's background policy, which good for them.
I have that at the top of mine. I don't even know why I care about that.
The Verge's editorial policy. It's actually a really good policy. We can talk about it if you want to. Or
On background means you're talking to somebody, but you're not going to quote them.
yeah, but a lot of times, like I've been getting pushback. Like Amazon, Google are famous for this. They'll just on background. I'll bring up an issue.
Right.
And then they give you the most jargony, stupid non-answer. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not effing anything. That's just, it's so frustrating. So I just don't even use it.
I clicked that, by the way, and now I got a special on top. Blue, here's the Verge without any ads. Start reading. P.S. Ad-free articles doesn't include paywall access right now. So this is the ad-free version, which I'm getting anyway because I use an ad blocker. But still, I'm glad the Verge gets some
If they
money.
could incorporate paywall stuff, I have 50 million subscriptions, but for people, if I could subscribe to Twitter Blue for like $10 a month and click on all the articles that I'm interested in, that's actually a really interesting proposition.
So you'd pay more if it were more complete, more comprehensive.
I can't seem to
Well,
put
I
it into
think
proper.
normal people would if you paid
Do you think normal people pay even $3 for Twitter?
if you could get access to the news articles that people are tweeting, yes. Because then it becomes like your gateway to all the media.
Here's what your old buddy Om Malik has to say.
This will be good.
Oh, Lord.
This will be good.
He says, when you subscribe, you'll get additional icon on the right-hand menu that says top articles. I like the conversation panel that opens up when you highlight the article before clicking on the link to read it off Twitter. The ad-free readings thus far underwhelm me. There were 3 articles in my entire 24-hour top news articles timeline. Okay, so we obviously are getting more. Maybe it just hasn't, kind of worked out yet. Notice, though, it wasn't just people we were following. It was people we were following divided by the publications that would allow it to be ad-free, which meant there was a lot of junk in there, a lot of chaff in there for me.
Well, mine is looking okay so far. It's pulling up a lot of college football stuff because 'tis the season for me.
Ohm says, despite the shortcomings, I'm willing to try this new offering at least for 6 months. After all, like most of us, I don't want to sign up for individual magazine or newspaper subscriptions. I'm surprised that Ohm does not, because you and I do.
But if you think about it, I pay at least $1,000 a year in subscriptions.
Me too.
So
New York Times, Washington Post, The Atlantic, The New Yorker, Bloomberg. It goes on. The information
But
alone is
still,
$400 a year.
I stopped that. I got rid of the information this year. I found Bloomberg way more interesting and relevant for me.
Bloomberg's expensive. It's even more, but it's worth it.
It's $400. It's the same as the
Is it the same?
information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was paying the monthly, which is like $39.
Ooh.
After all, the
But,
bigger question, Ohm writes, remains unanswered. What percentage of 397 million Twitter users will pay? This is my question, too. Will pay $36 a year for these premium features? I think people in our business will.
Yeah.
It won't be easy.
I think it's a
hard.
small thing.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to pony up for something they perceive they've been getting for free. Tell me about it. I know all about that. Nevertheless, Twitter should stick with it, says Ohm, because in time people will start to see value in this premium upgrade.
I think so. And if they get enough people who matter, so journalists actually matter. You reach journalists on this platform and you can push stories, right? Who will then write about your stories. You could see some sort of like media subscription come from that. And that's worthwhile. Or Twitter also has their newsletter thing. So maybe as an individual newsletter person, if I write something really awesome, I would love the chance to get a little bit of money from people reading it,
How would this affect the Substack people?
Subscription. Unless Twitter did a deal with Substack.
Yeah, how would it affect all of the independent folks out there using Medium and Substacks?
Well, let's say if I had a publication and I charged people $5 a month for it, and then maybe and I had this, and I was doing it through, what is Twitter's newsletter platform? Does anyone remember what they bought?
No idea.
Okay. Whatever their platform is. If I had my regular subscription base, but then I did something that's a little bit more general interest and people wanted to read it, I could maybe click a button and Twitter would make it available through that, and they could share some revenue back from the virality of it. That would be really interesting.
Look at what Aaron Rupar is doing on Twitter. It's kind of interesting. He's a journalist, just started.
He is great. He watches all the Fox News stuff and the Trump stuff and everything else and pulls up the videos. He's invaluable. So he watches so you don't have to.
Twitter is a perfect medium for him. He just started a brand new newsletter. So he tweeted the Rittenhouse trial, live tweeted it, and then said, I'm tapping out for now, but if you appreciate it, check out my newsletter. For him, there's a lot of value.
Yeah.
Twitter is kind of the perfect medium for what he did with that, right?
He is perfect for that because he pulls videos of everything and makes it terribly shareable. Aaron is he deserves battle pay for what he does. So we all don't have to watch what he watches, but he's great.
But will this pull people off of Facebook for their news, you think?
No. Twitter, to me, Twitter is a very specialized audience. I mean, 300-some million people tells you right there. Compared to 3.5 billion.
Twitter is far better for me for news than Facebook.
I
don't get news from
Facebook. For us, we're the exact.
I don't get news from Facebook.
No, we're the exact audience for Twitter, but that's not a big.
And that's
audience.
fine. Well, but that's it. What's gotten us in trouble is scale for scale's sake, scale for scale alone. To be as big as possible.
I agree.
And this is where
I
get
love
so excited about
things.
Project Blue.
But see, to me, Twitter's not niche enough.
Well, that's why blue matters. Not this blue, but the blue sky matters, because if the speech layer becomes commodified, but the curation, selection, confirmation, authority layer becomes selective, and you can pick who you want to find just the stuff you want, then maybe mirable dictu, you'd stop complaining.
Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody explained what mirable dictu means? No, wouldn't it be interesting? No, I know what it means. Wouldn't it be interesting? Phoenix Warp suggests this, I think. He's saying it may also filter out the crap on Twitter, just like our Discord. No one's going to pay to troll and just tweet out crap. But right now, I'm seeing stuff from people who pay and not pay. Wouldn't it be nice to have a setting that said only Twitter Blue people? Then it really becomes
I think they might get there. I think that's what you got to wait till you get enough.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 10 people.
That's definitely maximizing.
It's just 10 people. It's just me,
it's
Jeff,
not 10 people.
and Stacey.
It's like 100.
It's 11.
Well, and Tony Hale alone is worth $2.99 a month.
Yeah.
Tony was the founder of Scroll and Chartbeat before that.
Oh, they bought Scroll, and I've been seeing that's one of the benefits of Twitter Blue. What is Scroll?
So Scroll was intended to say to publishers, you're losing people, you're losing money to ad blockers. You're never going to get money from them. What we can do instead is we can offer a group subscription, basically, where somebody can come in and they'll get an ad-free experience, legit, and you'll get a cut of the revenue. Tony never said it was going to solve every problem with the news industry, but it was going to be helpful. It was going to give them money they weren't getting. And so, but trying to get all the publishers to sign up was torture. So he got a lot of them, but still. So then Twitter bought him and acquired his brains and his team, and they included that Scroll-esque feature into Twitter. But again, all it does is give you, I already subscribed to the Washington Post. So I now get a page without ads to the Washington Post. I actually be fine with the ads of the Washington Post. They're not awful. I don't subscribe anymore to the Atlantic because it overdosed me. And so if I go to the link to the Atlantic, I'll still hit my, 2 a month and you're done, bub. But I'll get them without ads.
This is definitely getting better for me. The more I scroll, it's just
You just turn it on.
Yeah. It's definitely getting better. I'm seeing, of course, I see a lot of Twit content on there, but I'm seeing a lot of tech news in here now. In addition
in the
top stories for me.
Top articles? Okay. Yeah.
This is so much better.
So there's something on the right of top articles. I guess that's scroll conversation.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's
no, that's cool.
Oh, that's for each article. So click on an article.
Per
article. See the
conversation
about
it. Conversation.
Oh, dude.
That's something that Nuzzle did not have, and I kind of like
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, Nuzzle, you could see.
Well, you'd see all the names, but you wouldn't see it scrolling like this.
But this is much better. Yeah, this is good.
This is good.
This gives you some context.
Yeah.
Gives you some context. I mean, here's Jason Howell.
So tweeting
about it.
I do feel like this is an improvement in the Twitter experience.
So far, I don't mind spending.
So good on them. Good on them.
And it's a nice price point. $3 a month.
Yeah. So far, I don't mind it. I mean, the Washington Post subscription for me was about the same price, I believe, because of Prime.
About $4 a month, I think, $4.50 or something.
And I got nothing out of it. But this is so much more meat.
Now here's
what happens. Like the Washington Post,
I got nothing out of that subscription. I would pull it up, and it was almost like doom scrolling. Everything was just sad news.
I'm a little disappointed by the Washington Post too. I agree with you, but I wouldn't. But I don't do that for the Times either. Just go to their site and scroll through it. But I pay for it because when individual articles show up in the other feeds, then I want to be able to see that without a paywall. And they come up enough in Tech Meme and other things that I'm going to see those. Yeah.
So Leo, scroll down on the left side until you find Washington Post or Verge, one of those.
Under top articles?
Under top articles, you'll see a blue bar that says ad-free with Twitter Blue.
Yeah, right here.
There.
Yeah.
So click on the article. Okay. Of course, you probably have an ad blocker anyway.
No, we already did that. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you did that already.
Remember, that's why I was showing you the pop-up that said
Sorry,
you're getting this ad-free. Yeah. So
he was tweeting.
He was.
No, I wasn't. I was screaming that I just spent by the way, how do I look in 1 gig?
Good. It's actually better, isn't it?
It's
nice.
He's still yellow.
He's not as well. No, he was pink before.
No,
so
you can't.
That's much better.
1 gig converts you to yellow, which is good.
Thanks a lot, Stacey.
I think those of us who pay for 1 gig would prefer to call it gold. But
daylight's balance.
Yeah. No, you look good. You're smooth and the frame rate's good. But you're saying you dropped out.
Can you dance for us?
Yeah,
it dropped out. They were supposed to give me 8 boxes to replace my boxes. I got 2 of the 8. They're supposed to come Friday. They're now saying, Friday, whoever told you Friday? No Friday. They're supposed to do all this last Tuesday. They didn't do much of it. I'm screaming on the phone, but hey, I look better.
I will say.
Was that you screaming on the corded telephone?
Yes,
show everybody that in case they forgot what
you have a corded telephone.
That thing was awesome.
Just pick that up. It was like,
holy cow!
Oh my God, isn't that great?
Where'd you get that? Was there an antique store in Bedminster?
That's our thumbnail.
This is my landline, children. My landline.
Landline. What is this?
Want to hear this weird thing?
Yeah.
It's called a dial tone.
What's a dial tone?
Boop. So I will say Twitter is still the place to go for customer service.
How would you figure that?
Well,
I just did that with
Lisa. We had
I got you.
When Tesla, it was Solar City. We got our solar panels from Solar City, now a Tesla company, and we didn't know it, but at the time they installed decorative triangular solar panels that aren't actually solar panels. And you can see, this is a picture, the regular solar panels look fine, but the cosmetic solar panels are starting to look terrible.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
So we called, and they said that's how we found out they were cosmetic, but then we never heard from them. So finally, Lisa tweeted the next day they came and took them.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with you on that. If you want something done, tweet them.
Yep. And that while Elon Musk is busy destroying his stock with Twitter. So that was pretty good. They could do 2 things at once. I thought that was impressive. Very impressive. Elon, what a character. Wow.
How often is he fined for
He's
everything.
very rarely, which is surprising.
Play with a lot.
He should be fined more often, I think.
That's what gets me. It's like, this dude should be writing a lot of checks. Because a lot happens just based on what he tweets.
And yet, was it this show or I think it was on Twit? It was on Twit where somebody had called him a BSer who delivers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the Dragon re-entry, the crew survived. Crew 2 is doing great. And now they've already turned it around for the next launch.
Yeah.
So it's
You got to give him that.
You got to give him that. But don't necessarily follow his cryptocurrency picks. Speaking of which...
Pump and dump, baby.
Pump and dump. Well, actually, I don't think he's even doing that. I think he just enjoys watching his stock price and his Doge.
Well, he's also paying a tax bill.
Yeah. So
you saw that story.
So he's going to trade in $10 billion.
Well, yeah, he knew what was going to happen. He goes on Twitter and says, should I sell? Hey, they're complaining about us not paying taxes on our assets. Should I just sell 10 trillion? And he knows what's going to happen. People are going to say, yeah. So he's going to say, I followed the market. I sold the 10 trillion. He has like a 10 trillion tax bill due.
10 billion.
I know, but when it gets that big, what difference does it make? And so it was all good, but he also depressed his stock just as he was selling it, which I guess means you can't accuse him of insider trading when he does that. So
yeah,
man, he's skirting it though, man.
Although somebody did tweet, wouldn't it be nice if instead of having to take a Twitter poll on whether you should pay your taxes, if Congress actually made billionaires pay their taxes?
Right. Imagine that.
So Twitter, this was a little reported story, is getting into crypto as well. They've hired Tess Reinerson. She just tweeted, I'm thrilled to share I'm joining Twitter to lead a new team focused on crypto, blockchain, and other decentralized technologies.
Is she part of Project Blue or whatever, Blue Sky?
It's unclear. But what is, I mean, this is Jack Dorsey in a nutshell, right? You put your tweet on the blockchain, you're never going to be able to edit it, sucker. It's there forever. She says it's going nowhere. We will be working closely with the Blue Sky team to help shape the future of decentralized social media. Ooh. Twitter crypto will underpin all this work and serve as a center of excellence for all things blockchain at Twitter.
Ooh.
So they're going to build their own blockchain?
I don't know.
But why?
First, we'll be exploring how we can support the growing interest among creators to use decentralized apps to manage virtual goods and currencies and to support their works and communities. This is my only problem with blockchain, NFTs, and crypto is I understand the words, but I don't really understand what it means. You know
where it's applying.
We'll be figuring out what crypto can do for Twitter as well as what Twitter can do for crypto.
Oh, hubris.
Ask not what Twitter can do for crypto. Twitter truly gets crypto. Hello, Bitcoin tipping and NFTs, but there's so much more to explore here. She has excellent credentials, is an early proponent of crypto, has worked on a lot of interesting.
And the head of Blue Sky also has great credentials.
That's right.
And I think I'm very excited about Blue Sky. I think that there's a next generation.
So the one thing that I guess makes sense to me is blockchain is essentially about a decentralized ledger, a decentralized record. So I guess it makes sense if you're talking about a decentralized social network that there might be some sort of synergy between blockchain. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but it does make sense. For instance, we have a Mastodon instance. That's a federated social media. Looks just like Twitter, twit.social. There is no one central server on that. Everybody who runs a server, as we do, has their copies of their content that their users have created, which then gets shared to other people's. It's truly federated without a centralized core. You don't need blockchain to do that. I don't know how blockchain would enhance that.
Right. That's what I want to know. What's the point of it? We already have federated social in place that's working just fine.
Email's federated, really. I mean,
yeah, look how well that
Kevin
works.
Kevin Topol's telling me he thinks it's going to be a Twitter crypto wallet.
Which is another problem because
Dorsey's
it's hard
already
enough just to get Bitcoin in a wallet that's for the masses, and then you have some other blockchain that people know nothing about. That's what's going on with all of the NFTs because there's so many different chains out there. You can buy an NFT over here, but you can't buy that same one over there unless you have this wallet, this token, and so on. Too much.
Jack Dorsey's other company, Square, has already announced it's making a hardware wallet for Bitcoin.
So you can lose it.
I keep forgetting that he and Square are like,
Yeah.
you know.
That makes sense. I mean, Bitcoin, crypto makes a lot of sense in Square.
Square, yeah.
Y'all, I have some issues. I cannot work my phone.
Oh,
no.
boy.
Your brand new
matter?
Pixel 6?
Boy.
My brand new Pixel 6.
Here, try this.
I'm trying to listen to y'all, but I'm having a hard time.
I'm trying. Try this. Just try this.
Trying to
this works so well. This works so well for me. Just press and hold the volume up and down button. You know, there's one button. Press and hold both ends of that, and just keep holding that. Okay. Just try. See what happens.
I don't want it to make a loud noise.
So I did this during Windows Weekly, and all of a sudden, it's reading. The screen reader comes on, TalkBack comes on, and I can't figure out how to turn it off because everything I touch, it goes. I couldn't. I had to turn off my mic and just stop participating in Windows Weekly. So don't do that, Stacey, because we want you to be part of the show.
What's wrong, Miss Stacey?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. Let's take a break. I'm going to do an ad. We will help Stacey Higginbotham with her brand new Pixel 6 Pro when we come back. See, that's Google.
It is.
There's some Google
service. It is.
And it's helpful.
It just took us 33 minutes to get there.
There's some actual Google in this show. This week in Google Pixel 6 Pro.
That mezcal, man.
So we haven't talked about Google yet.
For quite a while.
So I think the idea is you go around all the time with a shot glass, and just whenever somebody is around you, they pour mezcal into it. It's just it's always there.
I've long said it should be a controlled substance.
We went to one place. There's 3 ways you can make mezcal. Industrial, which is how most liquor is made in big stainless steel vats. There's traditional, which is a little more traditional. You have a donkey and stuff. And then, I don't know, donkey does something. And then,
I don't want to know.
And then there's ancestral, which is everything's clay, and it's like really like how it used to be made 150, 200 years ago. So we went over to an ancestral place, and the mezcalero, which is what you call the guy who makes mezcal. He's wearing a cowboy hat. Looks just like John Lovitz. Just imagine John Lovitz in a cowboy hat.
Mezcal.
But happier. He's a lot happier.
And he's got a giant funnel. I mean, like a gallon funnel. And he's got his finger over the tip, right? And he just goes around to everybody, goes, mezcal? And he takes his finger off.
No.
Mezcal? Because I guess the reason for the funnel is this just came out of the distillery, out of the stills.
Oh, man.
So he captured it in his giant funnel.
Did he wear a mask?
This was
Don't they usually
Agave.
This was
Get your bottle
root?
of Gastronomad mezcal.
I did. I have it, and it's wonderful. Well, I haven't opened it yet. The other thing that happened at the same ancestral, it was Mezcal de Los Angeles, the Angels. I don't know.
Right.
Was they had a medicine man come around and cleanse us? So they burnt this incense and they blew incense up and down our bodies.
Oh,
And then he
wow.
wiped us off with herbs and stuff. And he said, by the way, he says, I'm a medicine man, but I'm also a chiropractor if you need an adjustment. And then he comes around and spits mezcal down your front and the back as part of the cleansing.
No.
Yeah, there's a picture.
No.
That's
You're wearing
horrifying.
that mask.
I could not-
This is so absurd.
Oh,
You're
my.
wearing the mask and someone is spitting on you. Granted,
Well,
it's alcohol. It probably kills
It's
the germs,
50%
but
alcohol. It's 100 proof, so there's no COVID in that.
Right.
But I was a little damp for the rest of the
What's
day.
the point? What's the point?
It's a tradition. It's an ancient tradition. We also faced
Tradition.
We each faced each
Let's
direction.
make the Yankees look really dumb. Convince them this is a tradition. Jeez.
Tradition.
Tradition.
It was actually great fun. And no, when in Rome, you know, actually Lisa said, no mezcal down my front. But I thought I'm going to play the game. I'm going to do the whole thing. It
Of
was
course
fun.
you
I
would.
enjoyed it. No, I wanted to do it. Our show today
Sticky.
brought to you by Melissa. Not by mezcal, but by Melissa. You know, like mezcal or milk in your fridge, after a while, it goes bad. In fact, 30% of customer data in your customer list goes bad every year. Did you know that the nearly 36 million address changes were processed by the Postal Service last year alone? 36 million. And those are the people on your, your contact list, your Christmas card list, your catalogs, all the mailings you're doing, 30% could be going to the dead letter office. That's no good. Melissa can help make sure your data is accurate and current. In fact, Melissa's been in the business for 35 years, 10,000 businesses, the address experts, and people who use Melissa love it. In fact, their renewal rate's 92%. That's because the average typical return on investment realized by Melissa customers is 25%. They save 25% because they stop mailing to people who don't exist. They get rid of duplicates. Yes, Melissa's data matching can eliminate clutter and duplicates, increasing the accuracy of your database and reducing postage and mailing costs. And it's, by the way, it's not just addresses. You can verify addresses, emails, phone numbers, and names in real time with Melissa. Melissa's global address verification service works in over 240 countries and territories. And it'll do it, if you want, at the point of entry. A lot of Melissa's customers use their incredible API to build this into their customer service software, to build this into their shopping carts, because, honestly, a lot of times the addresses get misentered. For a long time, I swapped the numbers on our street address. So even your customers could be doing this. And then you can even get information to complete your customer profiles better. Public demographic info like marital status, social media handles. It really helps you do better to help your customers, and it saves you a lot of money. How does Melissa work? Well, it's very flexible. There's an on-prem software solution. There's a web service. They even have a secure FTP site you can upload and download from. You can use software as a service delivery. They have a new lookups app. Check it out on iOS and Google. You can enter in addresses, names, and more at your fingertips and fix that onesie, twosie. But probably the best way to do it is with their API. You could just incorporate it right into your software. And don't worry, Melissa treats your customer records as they should be treated, like gold. They undergo continuous independent security audits to reinforce that commitment to data security, privacy, and you'll be glad to know compliance as well. They're SOC 2 compliant, HIPAA, GDPR compliant. That's very important, I know. Great support. If you sign up for a service level agreement, Melissa's Global Support Center gives you 24/7 world famous support. And yes, COVID's not over, so they're still supporting communities and qualifying essential workers with 6 months of free service. Just apply online at melissa.com. Congratulations, Melissa. Big G2 Crowd Grid Report for 2021 for them. 89% ease of use, 91% quality of support, 96% ease of doing business with. They're nice people, as I know because we had a great call with them, as well as 93% meets requirements. So you can see their commitment to providing the best data quality and address verification software around is absolutely intact. Thank you, G2 Crowd, for that. Make sure your customer contact data is up to date. Save time, save money with Melissa. Try those APIs if you want in the developer portal. It's easy to log on, sign up. You can play in the API sandbox 24/7, and we're going to get you started with 1,000 records cleaned for free. Go to Melissa, melissa.com/twit, melissa.com/twit. Thank you, Melissa, for supporting This Week in Google. Thank you, dear listeners and viewers, for supporting us by using that address, melissa.com/twit.
So what do you mean you changed your address numbers?
So we are at 2991. I would constantly type in 2119.
Oh, I see.
When we first moved there. No, not on purpose. No.
Oh.
Stupidly. And stuff was getting misdelivered all the time.
I screw up the studio address. I go with 54 because that's the zip code here.
Yeah.
And when it should be 51.
So Apple thought that's maybe why I didn't get the laptop, but I checked and no, they had the right address.
I do that every single time.
Yeah. So that's why you need Melissa. That's all I can say. Big bill coming to Google. The EU antitrust fine, $2.7 billion. Google appealed and lost. This is such an old case. It's
such a ridiculous case. There's other things to go after Google on. The ad business, you can go after Google on antitrust. But the shopping case?
Well, but it was like it's a 10-year-old case. That's why it takes a while to wend its way through the courts.
Even when it was done, it wasn't
right. They don't even do Google shopping anymore.
No.
But the contention was that Google favor its own shopping service in its search results. At the time we tried it, it didn't seem to be the case. But I think it's safe to say that it does sometimes look like Google's YouTube is at the top, or if they still had Google Shopping, it would be at the top.
Amazon does the same thing on its platform.
Well, everybody does it, but if you're supposed to be an agnostic search engine,
whoever said that they were, they had to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, good point.
It's anti-competitive because if you have and this is, by the way, how this case came up, is that a couple of pretty tiny shopping services went out of business because Google didn't rank them highly enough. It's been a while since I've read the details.
Yeah,
of the case,
some of them were. It was really hard to tell the difference between just a link farm and a real shopping service.
Well, and that was Google's
really crappy
contention. Is it wasn't those guys weren't. Right. They were just link farms. They were just links to results.
And they might have gone out of business, but fine.
Anyway, 2.42 billion euros.
And there's no further appeals. This is it.
That's it.
This is the top
it's
part.
Done.
And now the EU is energized. We got them.
Yeah. Let's see what else here. They're taking the dislike button away on YouTube. That was announced this morning.
That's fascinating.
I like this.
I'm old enough to remember when people were clamoring to have it.
To have the dislike button?
You mean they didn't used to have it?
Oh, I didn't know that.
They didn't have it, and then they wanted it because they said, I don't want to just react to things. I want to be able to say no to things. But of course, then that brings out animus and bile from people, like the anger button on Facebook. And so, with experience, you learn.
So, why do you like it, Stacey?
I like it because I think things that produce less negativity. Like, here's the deal. I think we're so polarized as a company or as a people. Even seeing things like, I feel like there's people who feel like it does something to watch these crappy videos and like downvote them or be, negative about them. But I just don't think it's a signal that's being used properly. Like, you're not doing anything and you're just, I don't know, adding more negative.
Here's, it's still alive on mine, although supposedly it's going away pretty quickly. There's the thumbs up. I like this. And 5 people didn't like last week's show and said, I dislike this. I don't even know. I think you're right. The only time that I can really remember the dislike button being used was on Google's own Google YouTube Rewind.
The YouTube Rewind, yeah, because it was so much more. Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing. People will go in and like do these campaigns to downvote.
That's part of the problem, isn't it? Yeah.
Like vaccines, downvote.
So look, this is the Rewind 2018. It had 3 million likes and 19 million dislikes.
Ooh-wee.
And I think it was so embarrassing because Google hired Will Smith, and it was so embarrassing that Google never did another Rewind. In fact, they announced this year they're never going to do it again.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they got rid of the dislike. I think it is. Facebook doesn't have a thumbs down. Right?
They have an anger button, and part of the Haugen documents was that the anger button got more juice than the thumbs up. But I just listened to a great Mike Masnick podcast just today that said, well, what they didn't say in the media reports were, number one, that all the other like ones got more juice because they were new buttons. And number two, when they discovered that the anger button was getting too much juice, they reduced it to like 0. They fixed it. But I think if you give people the opportunity to express negative feelings, there must be finding that it has other impact. So good. If they learn, fine. But if all we can do is like things, I agree with Stacey, we got to be grumpy sometimes, right?
There's 2 things on this. There's the creator's perspective and there's the consumer's perspective, or content consumer perspective. As a creator, sometimes it's nice to have those signals to see what's working and what's not working. Mm-hmm. So you can make sure you're putting the content out there that not only your existing audience enjoys, but potentially growing audience can enjoy. And from a viewer's perspective, I like to have that button so I'm not recommended stuff that I'm not interested in. The same way Netflix works for me.
What if Yelp or Amazon reviews took out the negatives.
that would be a problem.
That would be a problem.
That would be a problem.
Yeah.
So much bad stuff
But
out there.
this is just a fast indicator, and it can be used to game things so easily. Like if you really dislike something, you will leave a comment. Let me assure you that.
Oh, but who reads
believe-
YouTube comments?
I believe they mentioned
learned that
though
a
that
long
the
time
button
ago.
will still be available privately for the creator to see what people are clicking that they don't like it. It's just not necessarily showing up publicly as 19 million people disliked it versus 3 million people.
Okay, so the button's still there. You just won't be able to see the count, and the creators will be able to track dislikes.
Right.
We were punditing without knowing. Gosh, this never happens. Dislike.
But that's useful. That's useful stuff. You
That's
know,
exactly why I don't like this show.
You know why? Wait, you know why I don't like this show? Because you're not helping me with my phone.
Oh, wait a minute.
your phone?
Wait a minute. We were supposed to help Stacey with her Pixel 6. Did you get what color did you get, first of all? This is most important.
Okay,
Ooh,
seafoam with the
seafoam.
fancy seafoam.
And I got orange
back,
shirt.
Or the rain back.
I went with the white.
And you got white. So we got all three colors. What did you get, Jeff?
Well, I will be getting at some point black.
That's what I
I'm
thought.
boring.
Black. I
'Cause,
knew
you
he
know,
would get black.
That's what I wear.
Did you know he would get black?
That heart.
So what is the you have an existing Android phone.
I have an existing Android phone. So the finger thing.
The process of
confused.
setup, which was, I thought, very good, involved connecting a USB-C cable to the old phone. Very quickly copied everything over. I thought that was a very easy way to set up.
Yeah.
They've gotten rid of, it's too bad because the Samsung Flip, for instance, uses the fingerprint reader on the screen
Man,
on off.
that
I
would be
really
great.
like that
That would be
feature.
great.
And I prefer a fingerprint reader Face ID in the day and age of masks. But what is the problem with it? So people have been complaining about the fingerprint reader, but actually I found it to be quite, okay, so the big problem is if you're not paying attention, it's fussy about you got to really hit it the right place and the right pressure.
And you actually have to put pressure on it. That's what I'm finding.
And there's a haptic
Yeah, the
feedback.
pressure is. Yeah, I turned off my haptic feedback. So.
Oh, that's going to make it hard. That's going to make it hard.
Yeah,
you need the
I
haptic
realize
feedback.
That, but I hate having haptic when I touch my phone because I hate my phone like having this like it's like touching like a sea urchin or something.
Ew.
It's like
Yeah,
a living
it's
entity.
alive. Yeah.
Ew. Okay, so
The sea urchin phone. Ooh.
But both
not
Paul Thurrott
squishy,
and Mary
but-
Jo Foley were complaining about the unpredictability of the fingerprint. I haven't
So
found
here's
that.
my issue.
But
let's say I'm hanging out here. Okay, every time I'm doing stuff, it's like so I'm in the Google, like I'm hanging out in Google for now, and I want to get back to the home screen.
oh,
It's hard.
the swipe
It's
up.
too hard.
Okay,
that's
okay.
the problem.
Swipe up
you
is
have a
not.
sucky case. That's the problem. The lip of the case is preventing that. So this
Yes,
is
but
not
I have
hard
the
if you can
Google
really get it
case.
from the bottom.
All right,
But I think your
but
case is the problem. Now, here's the good news.
Google case.
You can turn those buttons. It is the Google case? It looks
is the
like
Google
a
case.
Oh, well then I take it
No,
back.
this is the. Okay, see, look. Here's the G on the back of
Oh,
my
you
case.
got
So
the
I'm gonna
Google
take the
case.
off and see.
Yeah, that's been.
Does it make a
documented.
difference without the case, Stacey?
Oh, it
Right,
actually
without the
does
case.
quite a bit.
It's much easier.
Yeah, without the. But I can't not have a case on my phone.
So good
'cause I
news.
break it.
Good news. You can change. You can put the buttons back if you like the. Yeah,
I do not like
Button
the
me.
gesture.
How do I do this?
button me.
I do not like the
How does this
gesture
work?
navigation, so I put the 3 buttons back. So if you just go to the settings menu and type in navigation, it'll take you to the gesture menu, and you can disable gestures and get 3 buttons back. I haven't used the gesture navigation since it came out umpteen years ago.
Yeah, see, and I like it, but it's nice to have the choice. It's good you have the choice.
I
And
like the gesture thing, but I
It doesn't
don't
work with that
like-
case very well. Yeah.
Well,
That's-
and that's an issue.
Probably why I don't really care for that's not one of the reasons, but I don't like iOS because of the gestures.
And you don't get the choice on iOS to
Nope.
go to the buttons.
right.
You
No
have
home
to-
screen like it used to have, or
Yeah,
home button.
Home button. That's right.
What buttons? What 3 buttons?
The back, recent, and
Are
home
you
button.
serious?
You know,
I haven't had those buttons in ages.
Well, that's right, but you could put them there if you wanted them.
You see them at the bottom of my
Some
screen?
people don't care. See those 3 buttons? It takes up a little screen real estate, but this screen is so big, I don't think that matters so much.
So
Plus
navigation,
ours are
gesture
taller than
navigation.
Stacey's.
Oh, because y'all have the pros and
It's
I have the
under
normal?
system and gestures.
I found it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for explaining this to me. I
So-
hope
My
that
pleasure.
this
Can
helps
you,
someone
John,
else.
is there an over the shoulder somewhere we can? Yeah, there we go. So under system navigation, you can have gesture navigation, which is what Stacey was complaining about. Swipe up, swipe left, swipe right, or you can go back to 3 buttons.
Kids love that, from what
and
I've
then,
been told.
And then you'll have back, home, and recent. I like
Let
the
me put the
gesture. I'm
case
used
back
to it.
on and see if that helps. I
it
was
should.
used to it on the old one, but
Yeah.
on this one,
They
it's
changed
not.
the gesture. Stacey, the other thing is they changed gesture with the newest Android version.
They did, and I complained about that last week because I was. I
That's
didn't complain.
the
I
issue.
just was like,
There's also,
I
and I don't know if
struggle.
this will help you because it sounds like the one that you're having trouble with is swipe up. Mm-hmm. But there is a sensitivity in the gesture settings. There's also a sensitivity that you can change it, but that's for the back sensitivity. So left edge, right edge, not the bottom edge. I'm not sure why they don't give you something for the bottom edge, but I guess mainly because you often are moving around in the screen with the left and the right. It's part of the thing. It's funny because I for years used a third-party launcher.
yeah.
I like Action Launcher. I use
Nova.
Nova Launcher. Yeah, Nova's great. I paid for both of those, and I'm just using the Pixel Launcher. I guess I can survive. It's not quite as flexible or as features rich, but at least it's.
you want another
it's plain.
stupid Stacey question?
Sure. It's not stupid.
This is for all
It's
the
usually
normal
my
people out
department.
there. This dot.
Yeah.
What the heck is it?
A dot? You mean
This
the camera?
dot. It's
The hole punch?
Is that the camera?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's your
a
camera.
selfie camera. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm done.
They don't have a notch anymore. Well, you might,
No
and,
notch.
and then you
Notch.
might see at some point a colored dot,
gas.
like I think it's a green dot. When your
Yeah.
mic or camera are on, they put a little dot up there to let you know that
No.
Oh
somebody's
yeah,
right
but they
corner.
had that in Android, so that
Yeah,
was
that's
on
a
my
good
old
feature.
phone too.
I really like that feature.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Apple does that
I'm like,
too.
go Google.
Yeah.
Oh, so the camera's behind the screen in the class. I just don't pay attention to cameras because I don't take selfies. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Selfies are overrated.
Thank y'all so much. I know that was like
Oh, we're glad to help.
telling your grandma how to work her phone, but
Oh, I also do this on this show all the time. Ask for help. Actually, I do it more on Windows Weekly. Poor Paul Thurrott. I go, but Paul, I don't understand. How does Windows work? I don't get it. Apple's going to have to change the way. This will be very interesting in the long run. Remember Epic, who does Fortnite, sued both Apple and Google saying, we want to be able to have our own payment options and not give you the 30% VIG. That was the one piece of the case that Apple lost to Epic. They won everything else. A judge today, or actually, I guess it was yesterday, ordered Apple to fix it by December 9th. Apple had said, please, Your Honor, give us a little more time. Apple says they'll appeal, which means this could go on for years.
Their lawyers are still thumbing through all of the notes.
But I suspect that even with the appeal, Apple might have to do something by December. Judge Gonzalez Rogers kind of slapped him around. She said Apple's motion is based on a selective reading of this court's findings and ignores all the findings which supported the injunction. She was a little miffed. This will be the first time, according to Apple attorney Mark Perry, Apple has ever allowed live links in an app for digital content. It's going to take months to figure out the engineering, economic, business, and other issues, Your Honor. It's exceedingly complicated. There have to be guardrails and guidelines. Protect the children. Think of the children.
And they're just going to add a semicolon at the end.
It's not hard. It really isn't. It's not that hard. It's just a button, please. And you don't even, and guess what? Apple, you don't even have to do it. The developers of the Apple do it. Apple, you just have to let them.
Right.
How hard is that? They have to be written into guidelines that can be explained and enforced and applied, Your Honor. Please, I beg of you.
I look forward to December 9th.
Yeah. But remember, at Google, oh, by the way, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, gave Google a little gift earlier this week. When asked, Apple's been on this campaign. They did it in Europe, and Cook was doing it too in an interview, I think, with USA Today. They said, if we allow third-party app stores on the phone, it just gives the criminals, access. Tim Cook said, look, you want a third-party store, buy an Android phone. Just buy an Android phone.
Yeah. And all the Android sales goes up.
It was a little gift, if you ask me. I don't think it has to be that black and white, Mr. Cook.
Criminals already know that, though.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
Okay, one more thing about the Pixel phone, and then I'm going to stop talking
please. No, never stop.
It's
Never.
This is. I'll have
never
dumber
stop.
questions next week.
Never stop.
about it. Well, these aren't questions. I just want to make a note that this phone is really freaking heavy.
Yes, it is
Even
compared
without
to the
the case,
previous
it-
models.
Is it really noticeably heavier?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is like.
That's
I mean,
the
I
batteries,
could weigh it.
That
Does it
both
get
the-
hot?
Yeah, mine.
It does get warm.
I haven't
So-
had heat yet.
So, I thought, oh crap, this phone is really hot in the first couple of days. I don't know, it was indexing or something. It hasn't been bad since. But the first couple of days, it was hot.
I haven't had that yet.
And then also, when it's hot, means battery life is going to be depleted because it's wasting energy. But I think the battery life is very good.
It is. I've gone all day.
It may also have been hot because I was in Mexico and it was doing a lot of seeking. One of the nice things about the Pixel
Yeah, that's exactly
is it
what it
has
is.
an eSIM. So Google Fi was on the eSIM, which meant I could put a Verizon SIM in here and have both, really all the networks between Verizon and Google Fi. So that was nice because data was spotty everywhere in
I
Mexico.
found a 5G spot in Santa Rosa.
Nice.
And
How does it work, Leo?
I didn't see much difference
You
in
could go there to
speed, though.
download some movies.
Yeah, really, in seconds. You could go through your bandwidth in seconds.
It's like, wait a minute, that says 5G on this phone now.
Oh, I see that all the time.
I believe it was in Santa Rosa. That's the only place I've seen
Who
it.
are
Is it
you on?
real 5G or is it AT&T
This is on
5G?
Mint.
Mint. Yeah, you're getting
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile's
Yeah.
5G. And that's, it's mid-band or low-band. I think it's low-band 5G. It's not it's not millimeter wave. Nobody's got that around here.
Verizon's doing it in 28 and 34. Where did T-Mobile do theirs? No one knows. Never mind.
Nope.
That was a
I'll
question.
go back to asking about cameras on my phone.
There you go.
Sometimes you're so smart, Stacey. We just go, huh?
You know?
You're talking about the frequencies, I take it.
Yes. I'm talking
No
about
idea.
the frequency. So sorry. Verizon's is
What's the
deployed
frequency,
in
Kenneth?
28. Never mind. Okay. Let's talk about other things.
Did you want to know anything else?
I might come across a thing or two.
You've got the experts here. Actually, you should go on All About
that's-
Android. That would be fun.
That's why. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An idiot discovers the pixel.
Stay tuned.
Stacey asked Jason and Micah all kinds of questions.
So, you remember, this is prior to Ant and Stacey, but you remember, Jeff, that I was inveighing for a long time against AMP, thinking it was really a power.
Oh, yes, I remember.
It was
I
a
remember.
power grab by Google. And now I think we're starting to learn, both from the unredacted complaint from the Texas AG and elsewhere, that AMP may not have been the innocent improvement on web technologies that we were told.
Is this your "I told you so" moment?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I told you so.
There you go. That's what we need to hear.
I told you so. During the Chrome Dev Summit concluded last week, Paul Kinlan, who's lead for Chrome Developer Relations, was speaking during an Ask Me Anything Q&A with Chrome leadership. Former AMP Advisory Board member Jeremy Keith asked a question. Given the court proceedings against AMP, he said, why should anyone trust Flock or which is Google's, federated learning of cohorts.
Getting rid of the
Post-cookie sandbox.
Right. Or any other Google initiatives ostensibly focused on privacy. Ben Galbraith from the Chrome leadership said, well, I can't comment about the AMP proceedings, but let's talk about Privacy Sandbox. I think it's important to note we're not asking for blind trust with the Sandbox effort. Instead, we're working in the open. It means we're sharing ideas while they're in the early phase. I don't know, a lot of stuff. We're transparent, he said. We're transparent. But I think it's very telling that he was faced with that fairly tough question. Why should we trust you? And really didn't make much of a argument why we should trust them. Have you read the stuff about AMP?
I didn't really dig into it in depth because it's also kind of losing steam anyway.
AMP is. Yeah. In fact, Google's own internal documents, according to this unsealed lawsuit, show that AMP pages brought 40% less revenue to publishers, which might be a reason it's losing steam. And this one is really, now again, this is an allegation. This has not been proven in court. This just, although it was a very well argued and there was a lot of evidence in this pleading. This is from the lawsuit. The speed benefits Google marketed for AMP were also at least partly a result of Google's throttling.
Whoops.
Google throttles the load time of non-AMP ads by giving them artificial 1-second delays in order to give AMP a, quote, nice comparative boost.
Well, hold on there. Hold on. What? I don't know the details here.
This is from Google's own documents, by the way.
Yes, part of the argument at the time was that AMP forced publishers to speed up their editorial content, but the ad content remained horrible. And so there was an argument at the time that Google should advantage faster ads. Now, so you could, did they throttle down the slow ones or throttle up the fast ones?
Apparently they throttled down non-AMP ads by a second to make AMP look good. Plus, and this is also from the lawsuit, throttling non-AMP ads slows down header bidding, which then Google uses.
That's another issue.
Yeah, to denigrate header bidding for being too slow. Google it really looks like, and a lot of this is coming from internal documents, so it's kind of hard to argue that, we didn't do that. Google really did a lot to favor its own.
If you want to go
ad
after
network.
Google, go after their position in ad networks.
Yep.
That's where the shopping thing, AMP, that's all small. Where Google's an ad network company, and that's where it has its power.
Well, but they used AMP
I think it's
to promote their ad network.
Anytime a big company that has a huge share in the market who advantages their own technology in this sort of way, that's just self-dealing. And even if it's not a big deal, it's something that should be stopped simply to prevent corruption and
antitrust.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Look, I love Google. We wouldn't be doing a show called This Week in Google if we didn't think they were important and there was stuff of interest. We've been doing this show for 10 years, and it has always been a matter of great interest. We use a lot of Google stuff. I want Google to do the right thing. I don't think they need to do the wrong thing. They make plenty of money. They don't need to cheat.
It's fair to challenge them.
And I think it's fair to challenge them. I'm disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. And I think they got aggressively competitive. Look, it happens in Silicon Valley all the time. It happens to almost every company.
That's the thing.
I'm just
Are you
disappointed.
surprised?
I expected better. No, I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
I believed them when they said, don't be evil. I really believed them that they wanted to be a better company. And I think in the beginning, Larry and Sergey really did want to be a better company. But nothing.
I also think it's the bigger you get, the harder it is not to have more influence on people and to become evil to someone.
Yes.
So what irritates me here in the case of AMP itself is that they screwed up what should have been a holy cause, which is to fix media's web pages. Media's web pages have gotten even worse, right? We got rid of pop-ups for a brief moment in history, and then they invented all kinds of new pop-ups. Partly just tell you it's okay to it's the click off for the privacy stuff, but all the other stuff you have and all the stuff coming in and out. Media pages are terrible. They're irritating. They're slow. They move around. They're awful. And AMP at one level was supposedly there to help speed up the web and get back to a purer web. And that's why I was in favor of it. And it did that to an extent, but then it got obviously or apparently misused in other ways, which then hurts the cause of a better web.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
Yeah. Take a little break. Come back with more. Jeff Jarvis, Aunt Pruitt, Stacey Higginbotham. I miss you guys.
We were all serious until Stacey smiled.
I miss you guys.
I was caught looking at the size of my slippers because I was trying to order a new pair of slippers during the ad break.
And you give me hell.
No, it was during the ad break.
Wait a minute. So
we weren't there
We
yet.
got one person that tweets all throughout the show, and then someone else is buying slippers.
What kind of slippers?
Only during the ad break.
Yeah, I just want to
He hadn't even
recommend.
started the ad.
It's a Christmas tradition in my house to update every year. You got to get a new pair of wicked good slippers from LL Bean.
That's what I'm getting.
I knew it. I knew it. How did I know that? I just somehow knew that. I just had a feeling.
I was hoping for
I'm just
bunnies.
done.
I was so hoping for bunny slippers on Stacey.
No, you got to get a quality slipper when you're up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, but you got to. The only bad thing about wicked good slippers, as good as they are, is you do really have to buy a new one every year, a new pair every year, because
we buy them every 2 years.
it's a
but
traditional
yeah,
Christmas
like
gift.
Oh man, I think my son has a pair of those.
They're
He
wicked
loves
good,
those.
wicked good.
So I imagine the Laporte house, it's, slippers.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, but I managed. So last year I got them with kitty cats on them. So I managed to dress it up a little bit so that it looks a little bit like I'm thinking about it.
Oh, gee, Leo, thank you so much.
Slippers.
How
Wow.
did you know?
How'd you-
This is what
how'd
I
you get
was
kitty cats?
hoping for.
Let me see. I don't know if it was a special thing.
I have a choice of plaids, but that's it.
Yeah, no, these were really grabbed. I don't see them anymore. Now, I used to get these. I don't like them. You got to get the moccasin ones, I think. Oh, yeah, they were the wicked good clogs.
Oh
But-
yeah, no clogs.
No, but they had cats on them. Yeah.
Even so.
I don't know. Maybe I got to call Mr. Bean and see what's going on because maybe they don't do those anymore. What am I going to do? Now it really
sorry.
is going to be, slippers, aren't you special? See, I guess they don't have the kitty cats anymore. And they only one color.
Yeah, those
Lisa hates brown.
Those
She's-
are the ones my boy has.
Yeah.
Clogs.
Lisa thinks I only get stuff in brown. She hates brown.
Oh, see, mine are
neutral.
these.
Yeah.
match
Oh,
my
those are
hair.
cute.
That's nice.
Wow.
See?
Nice.
Oh.
But as
Boy,
you
it's
can
too
see, they're a
bad
little
LL
ragged.
Bean's not a sponsor.
Sorry. Yeah.
He's got the best
I'm just
damn
derailing
ad.
your show here this week, y'all.
The best ad. I bet you we sold a lot of slippers right there. Highly recommend them.
You're welcome, LL Bean.
Look here.
Our show today brought to you by Akamai. Akamai is awesome. Unleash the internet of possibilities. Akamai powers and protects life online. It's changing how we live, work, and play. If you want to be on the cutting edge of innovation, you need to be operating at the edge of the internet. Get it? And no one can get you there better than Akamai. Akamai has 10 times the locations of the nearest competitor, over 4,000 points of presence all over the globe, which means you're already always closer to your end user with Akamai. They've built the largest, most sophisticated edge platform in the world so that the biggest innovators can power and protect their greatest ambitions. Visit Akamai, akamai.com/twig, to see how Akamai powers and protects life online for your customers. Let me talk about kind of 3 different ways Akamai can make a difference for you and your customers. Security. Akamai stops some of the most dangerous threats launched at the internet, and everyone online every day. Their unrivaled edge platform intelligence sees more internet conditions in order to avoid bottlenecks and defend at the edge. Akamai's experts and threat researchers are right there on the front lines of protecting and delivering digital experiences. Their proximity and scale helps developers build better apps and put experiences closer to their customer. That's the second thing Akamai does. Their industry-leading 0-second SLA. How about that? 0-second SLA and 100% platform availability means they've got your back. And by the way, they are not afraid to stand behind their commitments. All Akamai-backed SLAs include time to mitigate, quality of mitigation, time to alert notification, time to respond, time to access a mitigation resource, and individual TMM SLAs based on specific attack vectors. So, in short, Akamai keeps your digital experiences closer to your users than anyone, keeps the threats farther away, and stands behind it with an incredible industry-leading SLA. With Akamai, you could provide the best possible experience for your customers. They'll get whatever it is you're delivering, content, apps, sites, video, without lag, without interruption, without latency, even during unexpected traffic spikes. That's why the biggest companies in the world use Akamai, because they know even when they get a lot of traffic, Akamai's there. You can prepare for spikes in demand and optimize resources to provide the best experience for your customers. Frankly, you'll be amazed at Akamai's unparalleled performance. And because of all of those points of presence, you're always just one network hop away from 85% of the world's internet users. And by the way, if you're doing code, Akamai gives you the power to innovate right at the edge. Your logic, your functions are deployed and active at the nearest proximity to your end users, so you're getting the fastest end user experience around the globe. You can build right at the edge with Akamai using JavaScript. You can innovate in real time, low latency access to data for custom code at the edge, and Akamai can optimize your API traffic delivery for edge applications. Look, everybody knows Akamai and their reputation. Akamai is trusted by all top 50 global media companies, every one of them. All top 20 global e-commerce companies, every one of them. All top 50 global telecom carriers, and over 500 banks globally, including the top 25 in the U.S. and 22 of the top 25 in Europe and the Middle East, EMEA. Akamai is there powering and protecting digital experiences in a way no one else can. 10 times the location of competitors, fastest customer experience available, the market leader in CDN, video delivery, web performance, DDoS protection, and web application firewalls. No one can compete with Akamai when it comes to setting you up for success and scalability online. Check them out. Akamai, AKAMAI.com. It's, by the way, Hawaiian for cool. Akamai.com/twig. Learn how Akamai powers and protects life online. Give your customers the best possible experience online. See for yourself what life with Akamai is all about. Akamai.com/twig. Thank you, Akamai, for your support of This Week in Google. And thank you, Twig listeners, for using that address so they know you saw it here.
Another good sponsor.
Cool.
And I just note
Didn't know that.
that in the ad, the Akamai, they were scrolling through LL Bean's slippers in that ad.
No.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay, that's
Yes.
creepy. Is that a glitch of the Matrix? That's a glitch of the Matrix.
Wait a
I think
minute.
that's a glitch of the Matrix. I'm just saying.
Slippers.
I'm packing up and going
We
home.
are in a simulation. It's obvious.
We're
not real.
Musk was right.
Don't kill us, Elon. Don't kill us.
I'm not worried about Elon. I'm worried about Paul Gozer, actually, but that's another story for another day.
So Amazon.
I'm not going to derail anything
Oh,
else.
play that.
Let's talk
No,
about
that was interesting, though. That was, I'm telling you,
Good eye.
there's coincidences and then there's glitches in the Matrix.
And then there's conspiracies.
I think there's just not enough bits, and so sometimes they have to duplicate the bits, right? They couldn't have something different, but they just ran out of bits.
I'm scared now.
You know what I'm saying? Did you
scared
take the
now.
blue pill or the red pill?
There was a pill.
Wait, did you see The Matrix?
What does updating the Verge's background policy mean, Stacey?
Wait, what?
Oh, I like this story. So The Verge published a thing saying, hey, we're ethical. This is how we're trying to be ethical. And it's all about on background, which is what companies do when they want to tell you information that they want you to print, but they don't want to be credited with
It's
it.
kind of a way of manipulating the story,
It's
right?
waffly. Yeah.
No, it's
so
worse
a
than
lot of
that.
times you'll
I
be-
think it's worse than that. I think it's spin.
It is. True. It is spin. So when and the thing is, it used to be for like true sources. Like I used to have people who, and sometimes those people did work for competitors, but sometimes people will go on background because they want you to have context for something, but they don't want to have it.
Yeah,
attributed
sometimes
to
it
them,
could
that
be
sort of thing.
informational, but it's really up to the reporter to sift through the spin to get to the facts.
And it is your responsibility when someone gives you something on background. You don't just print it. You go check it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what happens is spokespeople from companies tend to go on background to tell you things like I'll say something about like we'll just use Amazon because they do this a lot.
Product A.
Talk about product. This product is behaving weird, or actually, I've gotten this this product is behaving weird, and I don't understand why it's doing this. And they're like, well, on background, we're going to issue an update.
But you
in a couple
can't
weeks.
print that. Or can you? Can you say, I've been told by
usually-
company sources? No, you can't even say that.
You can say,
Oh, boy.
I found that, or I hear there's going to be a background, like an update.
I've heard.
But yeah,
it's kind of weird. So the Verge says more than one big company, and I know one big company in particular that does this, insists on holding product briefings on background with no attribution, which means no one can properly report what company executives say about their own new products during marketing events. We know exactly what company does that. A big tech company PR person emailed us, this is just stupid, emailed us a link to the company's own website on background. That's just dope. That's just useless. That's like that person just is useless. A food delivery company insisted on discussing the popularity of chicken wings on background. I don't, by the way, this is one of the reasons, actually one of the primary reasons I never talk to PR people. Because I don't want to have to sift through that in my head. It's easier for me not to know it than to figure out if it's guff or if it's genuine, valuable stuff. And as a result, I miss out. I don't do Apple briefings, so I miss out on a lot of maybe some factual stuff.
PR.
But I also miss out on a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
I get a lot of fluff, but there's probably 4 PR people that I really enjoy hearing from.
And so this is important too. At I don't have a policy for you. You get to do whatever you want. Jason gets to do whatever he wants. Micah gets to do whatever they want. I have, just because I've been in this business so way too long and I'm too old and cranky, I don't like loners. I don't want to talk to PR. I've spent way too many hours at lunches with people. I just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I'm pretty much right there with you. The 4 PR people that I
found some
enjoy,
good ones. Yeah.
they know, all right, Ant's going to dig this. Here we go.
That's
this
nice.
is the information.
And as a result,
and it works.
yeah, and I get the
There's
benefit,
no stress.
frankly, of having you, Micah, and Jason around because you
Right.
guys do that.
Right.
And I don't have to deal with it.
Because I hate embargoes.
I don't do embargoes, and I don't
I
do
hate
NDAs.
embargoes.
I haven't done them in more than a decade.
They're
I just
so hard,
refuse.
especially
I've never
when it's
done
juicy.
it. Most reporters don't do NDAs. I mean, I've never signed an NDA.
Yeah.
Even like sometimes when you show up to a company, they're like, sign our NDA. You're like, hi, I'm with the media. I'm not going to do that.
I don't
And then you get
take
it back and
questions. I don't say I'll submit questions to you. I don't let them know what questions I'm going to ask. I don't take the questions they suggest.
What about clearing? This is a cultural difference. Clearing quotes.
Yes, they don't have to do
No.
that because
I say we won't do
We're
that.
not
But in
print.
Germany, it is standard procedure
Yeah.
to call and clear the quotes.
I don't think it's
Wow.
unreasonable if you are quoting somebody to call, not to clear them, but just to make sure you're quoting it accurately. Of course, you've got
I
your
think
notes.
it's absolutely right to get this. Did I get this right?
Yes.
But in this day of digital recording, is that even necessary? People record phone calls and conversations on some type of digital recorder all the time, right?
And it gives them the opportunity
Yes.
to change it when they realize they said something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. You never want to clear quotes with people if you can avoid it. And you can absolutely avoid it. I will call people and run by
For clarification.
if I haven't done it in
Yeah.
an interview.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use like a metaphor because, it's tech reporting. So I'm like,
Right.
it's like when you have a stack of pancakes, I'll run my metaphor by them sometimes just to make sure that it's decent.
You clear
And
the metaphors? You clear the metaphors?
Is she
I love that.
okay?
I
She
don't-
just said pancakes
No,
instead
no,
of
no.
waffles.
So this is what's different about what we do from what you do, Jeff. Because when you're doing tech reporting, your primary part of your job is communicating complex stuff to non-technical people.
So you break it down.
So you'd use metaphors, and you want to just make sure you're not using a metaphor that's misrepresenting
Yeah.
the actual
Yes.
technical.
So
facts.
pixels are like a waffle. I can hear Stacey.
There we go. That sounds better.
I actually use baking a lot. Like when I talk about semiconductor manufacturing, I'm like, semiconductor manufacturing is like baking a layer cake.
yeah,
Throw
that's
in a
good.
big batch of cake, then you
And you just
scoop out
don't-
some of it, then you put more frosting in.
You just don't want to make say a metaphor that makes sense to you, but in fact is misrepresenting
Yes.
the technology.
Because
That's- I
some-
understand.
I'd say it's
Again,
more
when
like
you
a
do it-
Napoleon. Maybe
Well,
lasagna.
but sometimes cybersecurity is notorious for this. Sometimes you come up with a metaphor that you think rocks, and then they're like, well, no, it's more like
Yeah.
this. And a lot of times
Yeah.
when I'm doing this, I'm not doing this with the PR person. I'm doing it with like the
Right,
tech
the
people.
engineer.
'Cause
Okay.
we're-
Look, our goal is the same, which is we want to accurately communicate the information without fear or favor. And so to the degree that you want to be accurate, I think it's appropriate to ask. But we don't want to give them the chance to say, no, please don't say that, because that would hurt my feelings or my boss would get mad.
Yeah.
Now, this one
And
happens,
they're
I
doing
think.
it a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming in.
They're
like, I
empowered,
have
baby.
people-
Oh, yeah.
I have people in my interviews. They're like, "Hey, can you take that off the record?"
hate
I'm
that.
thinking,
No.
No,
Well,
too late.
I don't
If
have
may, if I may have a historic moment, I was at People Magazine when that shift occurred. The People Magazine started, it was all about the top stars or top shows. And if you had a Dallas is number one, you put Dallas on the cover, Dallas sells. And then one day I remember my boss screaming down the hall because I was the TV critic, TV's dead, Jarvis is dead, because the cover hadn't sold. Because now we had more competition, because now what mattered was the event in the star's life. And so the flack became uber important, because now we needed the star's face to sell the magazine. And the Flacks knew that. And so they would say, no, we want reporter approval, quote approval, photo approval, cover guarantee, all this stuff. And they threw their weight around quite a bit because they could, because they controlled the commodity that mattered. We controlled the commodity that mattered in the old days, the audience. Now, to get the audience, we needed the commodity they controlled, which was the access to the star.
Is it okay for these people to say off the record versus on background? Because I'm assuming there's a nuanced difference there. I'm not a journalist, so that's why I'm asking.
Do you do off the record stuff, Stacey? You do, don't you?
I do only for people I know and trust.
Right.
Okay.
And again, same thing.
And even then, I bet you limit
investigate
it
everything.
to certain. What do you think is a legitimate? Let me ask you this, Stacey. What's a legitimate use of off the record?
I've had people try to get me to investigate pay disparities or treatment issues.
When Deep Throat meets you in a garage and says you really need to follow the money.
Well, if someone tells you something and they're going to give you internal memos, sometimes if they're HR memos, I will take those off the record. Or in those cases, I will run things like quote approvals by them.
Right.
Because this is personnel. They're,
Yeah, there are things
I'm
you need to be
very
more careful of. I think that's smart, yeah.
So you can be off the record if you're a valid source, and putting you on the record hurts you.
Here's a challenging one, and this is another one The Verge brings up. Multiple big tech companies, and I would say this is common practice in politics and other areas too, insist on having PR staffers quoted as, quote, sources familiar with the situation, even though they're paid spokespeople.
Yeah. Politicians do this all the time too, in regulatory agencies. So that's something that I was stunned at when I first started reporting about politics, but it's crept into tech.
Yep.
And yeah, it's super stupid, super frustrating. And the only reason people do it is for access.
Yeah. So what is their new policy? Anyway, it's actually worth reading. Even if you're not a journalist, I would suggest going to theverge.com and reading this, because it's interesting to hear all the manipulations that tech companies, more than ever, have started using. We covered a story. Remember the car company that said, we're going to only, what did they say? We're only going to do electric vehicles from now on. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, the Volkswagen.
They were going to rename themselves from Volkswagen to Volkswagen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't April 1st.
They mentioned this. A major car company's head of communications told us an April Fool's joke was actually real on background. So that was the sneaky thing. On background, the joke obviously was a joke. It wasn't real. But on background, so that's nasty. Stupid. That's nasty.
Yeah. When people do, what are you going to do with that? You're like, oh, well.
Well, you're going to believe them. And then you're going to get bit.
So, by the way, this is a really good use of. Sorry, I'm looking at Twitter right now. I hope you'll forgive me for this.
No, it's okay. We know you've already tweeted about 6
show.
times during the show. I've counted.
If you go to top articles and then go to conversation, the first thing under my list is the Verge policy, and you
Mine
get
too.
really good tweets.
Yep.
That are very relevant to that discussion.
I think this is a great use for Twitter. This is an
awesome.
new and improved Twitter. I'm glad that they're doing this.
Have you ever had Tony Hale on, by the way?
No, but I'd love to. Maybe we
Tony's
did
hilarious.
in years gone by. We probably have, yeah. So this is what The Verge is saying. This is bad. So we're going to reset these expectations as loudly as possible. This is really a message to the tech companies and their PR firms. From now on, the default for communications professionals and people speaking to The Verge in an official capacity will be on the record.
Do it.
No more background, no more off the record.
Well, no, read the next paragraph.
But we will still honor some requests to be on background, but at our discretion and only for specific reasons that we can articulate to readers.
That should have been the case always. That used to be the case in journalism.
I think what happens is you just kind of gradually fall into this because you're a person and these are people and you want to be nice to people. And
that's why I don't talk to them, because I don't want to be nice.
Being a reporter's hard.
I don't want, honestly, I'm a people pleaser.
It's true.
And if I know these people, it's bad for me because I'll go, I can't criticize Microsoft. I like that guy. I love Chris Capicella, but that's the problem. He's their chief marketing officer. He's a great guy, but I don't want to let that make me be nice to Microsoft. And good journalists, Paul Thurrott's and Mary Jo Forley, a really good example.
Yeah,
they know all these people, and they are completely willing to be very critical of Microsoft. I really respect that.
Yeah.
When I started Entertainment Weekly, I tried to have a policy, but I didn't last long enough to keep it in place. I tried to have a policy that would forbade critics from doing features on stars and productions, because they were to be an independent critic there as the eyes and voice.
That's fair.
Of the audience, not to become buddy-buddy with the stars. But it didn't work. Soon after I left, it all gets incestuous as hell.
So this new policy was written by Nilay Patel. And I could just see Nilay, knowing him very well. I could just see him finally
He's a lawyer, right?
And just getting so fed up with this BS that he finally said, look, I'm writing this and you're publishing it and this is our new policy. Done. But, I have to say, this has been our policy here since day one. It's been my policy since I started doing this in the 90s. I don't do background. I don't do any of this stuff. I don't do off the record.
That's you, but do your employees have I found it interesting that you said you didn't have a company where you don't tell them what to do, but I feel like every media organization has to have a standard.
I'm very clear to them about what I do and that is kind of the ethos of what we do. And I trust them to do it right. We, if we were a bigger organization, there's only 4 of us staff hosts. If we were a bigger organization, certainly we did at Tech TV. Jim Latterback wrote up a very clear policy I completely respect and still adhere to, but I trust them. And if ever, by the way, and you'll vouch for this, and if I think if a line's been crossed, I will let them know.
Yep,
I will.
You're not going for scoops so much as commentary and content,
as well as Miss Lisa.
The reason we can do this is because we're not publishing 3 months in advance, so we don't, and we're not on, but that's, by the way, where we don't have. Well, I can't say we always don't. I don't ever have advanced products. I know sometimes Jason, for instance, had a Pixel 6 on embargo. I don't want to get in the way of his ability to do what he considers to be his job, and we're certainly forthright about that when that happens. After the fact, when Jason, during our Pixel 6 announcement, goes, "Oh, and I have one," we're very clear. "Oh, yeah, I've had this for 5 days, and they sent it to me, and blah blah blah." That comes more from my point of view that this is not a traditional editorial entity where I'm the boss and we have employees, but I think of it more of a collegial consortium of people. And even the staff hosts, I don't want to treat them any differently than I do you and Jeff, for instance. I don't say to you, Stacey, here's our policy, don't violate it, because you don't work for me. You're a contract employee, and I trust you. You wouldn't be on the show if I thought there were going to be an issue with that. And there certainly are people we do not let on our air for that reason.
I was going to say, I'm getting a kickback on every slipper sold.
If I thought that were true, I would say, oh, well,
she has a waffle empire.
I said, let me in on that.
Oh, that's true, in my waffle empire.
No, I think people know that's one of the things that. But I don't think we have to put it in writing. I don't know. I don't think we have to.
I don't think so. I believe all of us here, we have a set of moral standards, if you will. We don't want to be, I believe the term is on the take.
Yeah, we have a
compass. I used to hear a lot.
Yeah, we have a moral compass.
Moral compass.
Yeah. I love it. Casey Newton immediately picked up on that car company's misrepresentation on Twitter. Yeah, you're right. This is a good use of Twitter Blue.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you follow the right people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's put it, if you follow the topics and people, or you follow the topics that are interesting to you and the people that, I mean, we think it's good because we care about this, but many other people are like,
Well, and all the people, Phil Nickinson, Harry McCracken, Dieter Bohn. I mean, the people who are responding to this, not only the people I follow, but real journalists who agree.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's so
Mike
great.
Love
Masnick
it.
showing up on my screen.
Love that. It's making Twitter be what I think for a lot of journalists it has been for a long time, but in a much more organized and useful fashion.
Definitely targeted.
I don't feel like I'm having a stroke when I'm reading this.
yes.
Yay, finally. All right, good conversation. I know sometimes we get into the weeds on media, but I think media literacy is really important for you, our audience. It's certainly
It's
important.
tech journalism.
You need to understand.
Yeah.
And I have been kind of inveighing against the lax standards in tech journalism now for some years. It really bugs me. And I mean, YouTube journalists, there's no standard at all.
Well, either way, too, it went from full utopia to full dystopia as well, and I don't trust the level of reporting and context in so much of tech journalism, especially. I mean that actually less about tech sites and more about tech coverage in mainstream sites.
Yeah. Well, it's always a problem. It's a problem with beltway journalism. It's always a problem when you're covering a niche. If you're covering autos, it's always a problem. And
You want access
and
power.
you want access. You have to. And it's one of the things I wanted to fight against from day one, because I know people don't trust auto magazines particularly.
Right.
They know they're kind of in the pocket. And I thought that probably people felt the same way about tech
They do.
coverage. I really wanted to emphasize we're not that. We don't do that. That's not us. And our job is to represent you, the users. So that's why we talk about it here. And I think it's important. And I hope you as listeners and to our podcast understand and maybe take that knowledge out and to be more critical about the material you read and you see, because a lot of it.
Something that comes to my mind is with my show, Hands-On Photography, I have spoken a lot to Canon Explorer of Light photographers, and everybody will say, "Oh, Ant, he's a Canon fanboy." Quite frankly, yes, I am a Canon fanboy, but at the same time, I also deal with folks from Sony or whoever else that has some interesting camera technology, and I let it all be known right up front. Hey, I'm here to talk about this particular piece of tech, regardless of what my affinity is for.
Also, though, we're not quite reviewers, as Jeff pointed out.
Right.
We're a little bit different. Eric Duckman in our chat room says our YouTubers are content creators, not journalists.
That's correct.
But that's problematic to me, because they're behaving as journalists. They're reporting on. They're reviewing
perceived
stuff
as journalists by the masses.
So that's problematic to me, because I don't think they have the same standards in many cases.
No,
Some
they
do,
don't.
but in many cases they don't. When I see Linus Tech Tips investing in framework then covering framework, that bugs me.
Yeah.
It's not to impugn him, but it bugs me. That's not anything we would ever contemplate or allow. Hey, here's a cool story. Brain implants.
Really cool.
This is from Science Alert. Brain implant translates paralyzed man's thoughts into text with 94% accuracy. This fellow's been paralyzed from the neck down due to a spinal cord injury he sustained in 2007. They put a device in his brain called BrainGate, a brain-computer interface. They tell the fella, and we don't know his name, they call him T5 in the study, 65 years old. They say, even though he can't move any of his limbs, concentrate as if you're writing. Think about writing in your mind, even though you can't. And the interface was able to, with 94% accuracy, using AI, translate those brain impulses into actual text.
That's so awesome.
What scares me most
was
is
it
being
weak?
trapped in the bell jar like that, and to be able to communicate that way is just amazing.
Yeah.
I would wonder
where was
whether
it weak?
typing
That's a
would
good
also
question.
work.
Let me see if they say that. In tests, the man was able to achieve writing speeds, get this, of 90 characters a minute. That's 18 words a minute, with approximately 94% accuracy and up to 99% accuracy with autocorrect enabled. So maybe it was weak in misunderstanding or mistyping.
No, Google, I didn't mean that.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, so if you're thinking about spelling a word and you would misspell it in your head and you're typing, wow.
It fixes it. Or maybe you didn't misspell it in your head, but the AI misinterpreted. It said that's an O, not an A.
Oh, like there and there.
Yeah, and the autocorrect fixed it. That speed, to give you an idea, 18 words a minute, is, they say, almost on par with the typing speed of smartphone users in that man's age group. So, I mean, it's not slow.
That's awesome.
It's not slow.
It is slow, but it's not like horribly slow.
That's slow. People my age, they say, get about 23 words a minute on a smartphone. I've never timed myself. Yeah. So
there's no Mavis Beacon teaches typing for your smartphone?
No. Look at this is the man's imagined handwriting as interpreted by the system. So again, this is not him moving his hand. These letters are him thinking these letters.
He's not thinking in cursive.
No, I guess not. That's interesting. Just
in the earlier version, they had the thing where you like your cable TV, you point at the keyboard. I repeat, I wonder whether thinking that you were typing would work.
I bet it would, but they have to train it for
would.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting because you know how some people, there's like always a small subset of the population, like who don't see faces, for example, when they're thinking, right?
That's
like
me. Yeah.
When I think
What's that
it's interesting,
condition
like, because
called?
when
You
I
explained that.
Apnosia, panagosia or something, yeah.
Well, no, this is more like some people, like, they don't hear a voice in their head, but some of us do, right?
Oh, yeah.
You never know what's in your head.
Prosopanagosia.
Stacey, you want to talk about that a little more here?
Not say that word.
No, I can
voices.
hear. No, I can hear sounds. I can smell smells as if they were there and vivid. But if I close my eyes, I cannot see your face, Stacey.
Yeah, so that's like our brains are all a little wacky. So I'm thinking about, like, for people, like, I can't see myself writing. I've been trying really hard, but I can picture me type, like, not the physical act of typing, but like the words on a screen.
Here's what they said.
When they showed the handwriting, it's kind of crazy.
Here's what they said. The researchers said, we've learned the brain retains its ability to prescribe fine movements a full decade after the body has lost its ability to execute those movements. And we learned that complicated intended motions involving changing speeds and curved trajectories, like handwriting, can be interpreted more easily and more rapidly by the AI we're using than can simpler intended motions like moving a cursor in a straight path at a steady speed, or I would predict typing. That's just it's the fine motor thing. But you remember enough about how to write. You don't need to be. I hate
have
writing
terrible
too.
penmanship.
No,
That's
yeah,
why
but
I learned to type after the 6th grade because of that.
The good news about AI, it doesn't care about your penmanship.
Thank goodness.
As long as you're consistent,
Scares me.
right? It could be your A looks like
I'm
this.
consistently illegible.
Basically, the researchers say alphabetic, and I'm again reading from sciencealert.com, alphabetic letters are very different from one another in shape, so the AI can decode the user's intention more rapidly as the characters are drawn compared to other systems that don't make use of dozens of different inputs in the same way. So I guess
I wonder about
handwriting's
things
key.
like Mandarin would be difficult because that's the characters build on one
That's
another.
interesting.
Well, maybe not, though, because it's very prescribed. When you write a Chinese character, the order of the strokes is
that's
prescribed. So in fact, when I was learning how to write Mandarin, if you write it in the wrong order, they go, they slap your hand. You have to do it in the right, and it's actually more precise than one would think. I think it's actually better than English cursive. You're almost a painter. It's very interesting. I bet you would work better.
It's fun.
Mandarin. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that cool? So they also say, look, this is one guy. It's just a proof of concept. We were able to do it. That doesn't mean we're going to have a product that you're going to be able to use anytime soon. But the research is starting, which is very interesting.
So can I mention a little one? Maybe you can't play it because it's
Please.
music.
You mean Adele's new song?
Because what's interesting
Is it on
about this
TikTok?
is that John Lewis, it's not TikTok, John Lewis and other British merchants always have their special Christmas adverts.
Yeah.
And they're about 2 minutes long.
And you look
they're
forward to it.
tear-jerking.
You know what?
And they're
The same
special.
thing that Microsoft has a regular, Google has a regular Christmas ad. Apple's, we wait for Apple's Christmas ad every year. So that happens to
You do?
Maybe you do.
This one's a little bit, this is more
Those
the
are-
British model of telling a story. And
No, that's totally it.
Really?
Yeah. You want to see Apple's Christmas ad from last year?
Sure.
It's a real heart tugger.
Real humdinger.
A real hummed. Wait a minute, this is 2021. Oh, the new one's out.
The new one's already out?
Oh, you
Yeah.
clearly weren't waiting that much.
Oh, no. This is, well, this was published in 2019, but it says 2021. This is YouTube probably screwing with me. I'm not going to play that one, just in case.
Please don't.
Here's one from 2013. How about that? They've been doing this for a long time. Apple's Christmas commercial. Cars driving up. There's a kid with an iPhone. Oh, I love this ad. I remember this one. Grandpa comes to the door. The grandkids, the kids, the whole family's getting together. But there's, the usual kind of emo 14-year-old who spends a lot of time on his phone. They're all having fun building a snowman. He's on his smartphone.
Not Ralph. Man.
Not Ralph. Ralph.
Well.
They said they throw something at Ralph because Ralph's just can't. He's the Christmas tree. He's doing his phone. They think Ralph is a loser. Ralph is pathetic.
Yeah, after 2013, they'd send this kid to
think
jail or therapy.
Ralph has really got problems. And then Ralph turns on the TV and shares the video he's been making on his iPhone this whole time. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Ralph's movie, A Harris Family Holiday. See what I'm saying? That's in that tradition. They do this every year.
All right, you win.
And it's actually the best ads of the year. Microsoft does the same thing. Google does the same thing. And now the family likes Ralph again because it turns out he's not a nerd. He's going to make millions. He's next Steven
violated our
Spielberg.
privacy and put this on YouTube. And how dare he?
Grandma's crying. Don't cry, Grandma. Aw. They're all crying. The whole family's crying. And Ralph, I'm sorry we thought you were a loser. You're okay, man. You're okay.
What? You got 2 million subs on YouTube? What?
This is the introvert's holiday strategy right here.
It is. I do it. Mike Elgin
yeah.
admitted it. He said the reason I have
I'll
a camera
document.
is because I can document the whole thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So anyway, Adele has a new album. Wait a minute.
She has a new album. She has a new single off the album, and it's debuted as the commercial on Amazon.
It's an Amazon holiday ad.
Well, we don't say Christmas here, yes.
Yeah.
Because we killed Christmas and Santa Claus and Big Bird, too. Oh, no, that's right. Big Bird's evil. I get so confused.
So here's a young woman walking in a city, but she's somehow underground. Is this a dystopian future, or she works for Amazon? Probably.
It's got that color grading, the dystopian.
It does. It's got the blue kind of dark.
The Children of Men coverage.
Children of Men coverage. Exactly. But wait. You always know when the hopeful music starts.
Her all week.
Oh, she's a college kid. Okay. She's got to do math class.
She's under a lot of pressure.
She's typing. The clock's ticking backwards, which was weird. Maybe that's just, I don't know.
Little time for
it
friends.
wasn't it? It was going
still
backwards, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. It's just me. I don't know. I just thought that was
Just
odd.
feels left out.
Yeah.
All the fun.
They're all
action.
dancing. This is very similar to Ralph and his iPhone experience in 2013. I don't know.
But here we go. Here's the payoff. Now
Here's the payoff.
coming.
Amazon's going to make
nice
it.
neighbor.
The neighbor's putting mistletoe up on the door. No, it's
Putting
a wreath.
wreath up.
It's a wreath. The neighbor looks at her. They look at each other. The neighbor is her mother. No.
Now
God, I'm
look,
depressed.
Here's
This is
the
2
neighbor
minutes and
and
13 seconds of
young
depression.
woman
When's the
sitting in a
Amazon
park.
delivery
Look what
guy
the neighbor's
coming?
doing. What
Feeding
a
the
nice
birds.
neighbor. She's feeding birds
the birds.
out of her hand.
Tuppence a bag.
Makes the girls smile.
Tuppence.
Makes her happy.
Tuppence a bag. The
So
girls.
just wait.
on side.
Amazon is going to come into here in a minute.
Oh, they did this last year. Remember
They did?
the COVID thing? They had ballerina couldn't do her concert, so she had to dance on the roof, and then her neighbor made a video out of
I
her.
just don't watch TV anymore.
This is grim. This is just awful.
But now she
bought her
has
a
the
bird feeder
from the neighbor,
so she doesn't
and
have to
she's
go
happy.
outside anymore to feed
And
the
she
birds.
thanks the neighbor.
So now the neighbor's stuck in a hut inside just like she is. And now we're all in our dystopian boxes. Is it? Is it really warming up? Oh, the little nod. Did you see the little nod? That was the entire acknowledgement. The little nod. That's a terrible ad.
Slight grin.
Terrible ad. Compare that to the Apple ad. Heartwarming, loving. All this was dystopian Amazon Blue.
Oh, well, you love dystopia. You spread dystopia all around you.
I live
like
in
Santa
dystopia.
Claus spreads presents.
How about Meta? Did you guys have fun talking about Meta last week?
We were confused by it.
Jason said we are all sick of talking about them. Sick of them.
We're confused
Wait,
by it.
are we talking about it again? No.
I didn't get to. I didn't get
don't
to.
care.
I was in
I got some
Mexico.
slippers to order. This is just,
One of the
this is not
guys,
happening
I got to
again.
say though, one of the guys on the trip was a Facebook engineer.
Oh,
He said, yeah, they're getting me my new cards. And this is exactly why I don't want to know people in the business, because now I like him and I can't say bad things about Facebook anymore.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can. There's nothing to say. That's the new name.
Oh, yeah, no.
Love it. No. Beautiful. In the future. I do have in my hand.
What do you have?
Well, there's a 26-page trademark application.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about that. Over the weekend.
Facebook
Oh,
filed.
it's hilarious.
Oh, my God. So when you file a trademark application, you say in what area? Like, Twit has a trademark application in like streaming media and technology news, that kind of thing. You don't say in rubber shoes or slippers or anything like that. So there could be a Twit Wicked Good slipper that wouldn't infringe.
Right.
But apparently, Meta wants to own. There's 26 pages.
Single space, no paragraphs.
Downloadable software for use as an application programming interface. Downloadable software for organizing events. Downloadable software for creating, editing, uploading, downloading, accessing, viewing, posting, displaying, tagging, blogging, streaming, linking, annotating, indicating sentiment about, commenting on, interacting with, embedding, or sharing, or otherwise providing electronic media, images, video, audio, visual content, data, and information via the internet and communication networks.
Oh, man.
Semicolon. Downloadable computer.
Okay, so
one long sentence.
So this is sent for approval. Does this mean that this could be denied?
Yes.
Okay.
So we actually had Evan Brown on Twit. He's a lawyer and an IP lawyer to boot. And I asked him, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to have him on and talk about it. And he said, yeah, this is just, you ask for the moon.
Yeah.
But the trademark examiner may say, well, okay. Or again, it's Meta. They may not. I don't know. Software for file sharing, messaging software, virtual reality software, downloadable software for use in creating, designing virtual reality, augmented reality software, API for computer software for developing. It goes on. Accessing, viewing text, images, electronic data related to conferences in the field of software development, downloadable software. It goes on and on. It's a mostly software download. But wait a minute. Here's
lawyer made a lot.
This almost sounds like that. You can't even say the word meta if you're just speaking. Is what the way this reads.
If you're doing critical analysis, God help you.
Yeah.
So many
Geolocation-based advertising and product and service promotion. Downloadable software that enables individuals, groups, companies, and brands to create and maintain an online presence and interact with online communities for marketing purposes. They own it.
No, dude.
Anyway, I don't know if
I'm going to assume there's also lobbying in place when it comes to patent.
No. The examiner is some guy, little pince-nez glasses. He's got little sleeve cuffs.
And
he works in a darkened office on a wooden desk.
So he didn't get $1,000 handshake?
No.
Okay.
He's got a big rubber stamp, and he goes...
No, he's bitter. He's angry.
Mad.
Might like this.
He likes to feed the birds. It's that kind of thing.
Might like this.
Let's do our TikTok segment of the week. Forget the Google change log. It's time for the TikTok change log.
Now we need the 60 minutes clock.
Actually, I'd actually curious what you think about this, Stacey. Maybe you've seen on TikTok a lot of domestic violence prevention groups and so forth have promoted this idea that there's a hand gesture. If you're feeling unsafe, maybe you're walking down the street and your boyfriend's got a hold of you and is going to take you home and you're scared to death, you could do this hand signal. I'm going to show everybody because this is the new TikTok hand signal. You bend your thumb in, you close your fingers over the thumb. That's the signal. It's simple. But if you're doing that as you walk down the street, your boyfriend may not know what you're doing. May just look like you're clenching your fist. I'm okay. That's not. I'm not saying that John Slanina has trapped me.
John is keeping him hostage,
and I'm chained to the desk.
Nor has Aunt Pruitt taken him hostage. Let's get that clear too.
Okay, let's make that clear.
Thank you.
So, a girl who was reported missing in Asheville, North Carolina, in distress in the passenger seat of a car driving through Kentucky. She appeared to be waving through the window to passing cars, but one person in a car nearby recognized
blessed soul.
The TikTok signal.
That's awesome.
The girl, 16 years old, was using a new distress signal. According to the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, the signal created by the Canadian Women's Foundation for people to indicate they're at risk of abuse and need help has spread mostly through TikTok in the past year. The person who saw it, apparently a TikTok viewer, called 911, said, I think this girl's in trouble. She's using the hand gesture. The dispatcher and officers were unfamiliar with the signal, but sheriff's deputies pulled over the car to investigate.
And the person who called tracked the car along for some considerable amount of time to an exit and stayed with her, which was really important. Stayed on the phone with the cops saying, here's where they are, mile markers.
And they found out the girl's parents had reported her missing 2 days earlier. They arrested the driver, charged her with unlawful imprisonment. The girl is safe and back home. She said she'd been trying to get motorists' attention as they traveled south from Ohio the whole time.
Man.
So there's a happy
this isn't
TikTok.
an ASL thing.
TikTok
this is just something
things.
that was come up with.
Yeah, just somebody invented it.
Okay.
Something easy to do that doesn't look like maybe you're doing a signal.
Right. It could be a twitch, kind of,
Yeah. Or you're waving.
Yeah, or you're waving.
She thought...
I'm the queen.
I'm the queen. Actually,
So
I think
I
Queen
think
Elizabeth is saying she's trapped in Windsor Castle.
Yes, she is.
But that's another
Help me.
matter. Yeah, help me.
Do you know what the
I think this
drink
is
and
good.
angel... go ahead. Sorry, Stacey.
So I was going to say, so this is like angel shots, which...
Well, exactly what I was going to
you-
say. Exactly.
What's angel
Explain,
shot?
please. Explain, please.
So I wondered if you do. So when you order an angel shot at a bar, you're trying to indicate that the person next to you is upsetting or cause problems for you or
that's what you
whatever.
mean.
Like,
Yeah.
help me. It's basically help me.
Help
to
me.
order an angel shot. And the idea is that the bartender knows and you don't. But the hard thing about all of these is when it gets to widespread knowledge,
Right.
everybody also, like the bad guys will also know.
Yeah.
So there's this weird, like, not saying that this isn't good and this isn't, but
It's good
There's
that
only
this
like a
worked out
limited-
this time.
yeah.
Because
I'm
now that
not
this
against
is
it. I'm just
news, yeah.
like, more people will know about it to use it and recognize it, but also more people who might be kidnapping people. How many of those people are there?
Anyway, it's a happy story.
Yeah.
Here's an
yeah,
unhappy
good story.
The goddamn Washington Post did not call my son.
I know. I was very upset about this.
This is a trend story. Apparently, food on TikTok is just all the rage. Recipes, quick recipes, just exactly like my son does. Salt Hank.
He does not do quick
Salt
recipes.
_Hank.
Salt_Hank. They featured some people, but not Mr. Salt Hank, who is now at 1.3 million followers.
1.3 now?
His most recent, he put it up a few days
the
ago.
burrito?
Apparently Mexican food is really big. Let me show you his most recent.
Well, if it's his burrito, it's not Mexican.
no, I
most
know. There's no
distinctly
burritos.
California.
Yeah,
No.
California. I think that's it. Is that it? California burrito? Oh, he's at 1.4 million.
20 million for this burrito.
So he put it up 4 days ago.
Son of a-
20 million views.
That's burrito
But
price.
no,
That makes it a
Washington
French
Post.
burrito.
Maybe I should have called him on Deep Background. I could have said,
Son.
I know.
I used Hank with one of my students this week. He was talking about a desire to start things, and I told her, and she wanted to do travel. She wanted to do gastromat. She wanted to do travel and culture and food. And I told her about Salt Hank.
Yeah.
And-
I want to
and-
hook him up with Chef Alex down in Mexico
Oh,
because
yeah.
he could do some great TikToks for Alex, who wants to get better social.
How does he shoot himself? I've been meaning to ask you that.
He's got
Tripod,
tripods. Canon
Tripod.
5D Mark IV. I gave him that, and he's got an iPhone, and he's got various. He's got lots of lights, and he's getting
You
more
can
and more
clearly
equipment
tell.
all the time. You can tell, can't you?
You can tell.
So a couple of success stories. I hope I'm not telling this out of school. Lady Gaga's people paid him money to put her latest single in behind one of their videos.
Really? Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting. Yeah, this is the one we can play. Can we play the music?
Probably.
They
not.
paid him a lot of money to do it. Go ahead. So, but I think it's interesting that big performers, just like Adele, using the Amazon ad, are going to TikTokers. By the way, that view, I think that she got a deal, 3.3 million on that video.
Nice.
So I think Lady Gaga, you should give Saul Hanks some more money.
And TikTok didn't necessarily know that was ads, so they weren't going to downgrade it.
They didn't. That's a good point.
Nobody tell TikTok, please. Nobody tell TikTok.
Shh. Let's see. That was his Detroit pizza recipe.
That's awesome.
He has been approached by CAA out of Hollywood.
Oh, that's
Great.
Big Hollywood agency. They're going to call him. They have a name for it, like a shadow client. He doesn't have to sign a deal with them, but they've got a relationship. He's going to appear on some syndicated daytime talk show. I can't remember the host. He's going to explain to her.
The Today Show has been booking the TikTokers like
I
nobody's
know.
business.
Everybody's doing it. It's a good time to be a TikToker.
I was going to say Regis and Kathy Lee, but the next version, you got contacts there still, huh?
Yeah. I should probably call. They probably would love to do that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
But he's got big agents now. I don't know if I can reach him.
He's under CAA
Can I speak
now.
to Hank? No, I think. What would you like to on Deep Background? What else? A lot of success stories. He sold 3 ads for $10,000 to the biggest one.
I remember the salt.
The biggest one. He's going to make a salt. He's going to make a line of salts, and his biggest investor is the founder of F. Jerry. You know that big. This is back in the day. This was a big social media thing. Apparently, he made enough money that he's investing. But he's going to do. So stay tuned. I'll be hawking salt from Salt Hank. Good. In the future. Anyway,
so do you know Jax on TikTok?
Jack Dorsey?
No, Jax, the next one down.
JAX.
She is hilarious. She's wonderful. She's a TikTok star.
In this Washington Post article.
No. The next line down. Another TikTok story.
At Jax. Oh, let's go see. What does she do? She writes songs.
She does funny songs. She's very personable.
Adding side violins to my ex-B's apology text featuring the incredible Lindsay Sterling, who is another popular social media and, of course, performing violinist. Which one should I play?
Do that one. Do the video one. Do the violin one. The second
Sad
one.
violins? Okay.
Side violins to my ex apology text. Hey, I know you're probably never gonna forgive me for what happened, but I wanted a chance to explain. I know it wasn't right that I technically hooked up with your roommate, but I've been going through a lot, and that's not who I am. I've been failing most of my classes, and you know I just got fired. So I would really appreciate if you showed me some sort of
What a
sympathy
burn.
and stop making me feel like a villain. Plus, you've been really busy at work, and I've been feeling really alone. I was just really missing you, and it was a one-time mistake. I love you so much more than Emily. I'm supposed to tell my family. I'm sorry, okay? Also, did you change the Netflix password?
She's hilarious. She's just great.
Somehow it sounds real, though. I don't think she made that one.
The one with her. She has one with her parents about trying to get a scholarship or something. That's hilarious too.
All right, I'll play a little bit of that here.
I need a man who's patient and kind, gets out of the car and holds the door. I wanna slow dance in the living room like we're 18 and sing your prom and grow. Oh, with someone who makes me
She's
feel
good.
young. I need a man who loves me like my father loves me.
I'm gonna cry.
I need a man who
That's
loves
pretty
me
sweet.
like
Aw.
my father loves my mom.
Aw.
Nice.
Isn't that sweet? See, and TikTok is not so bad, is it?
See, and it's a musical, Ant.
Well, but that's the
It's
thing.
like they're singing.
I wish the algorithm would do better for me on TikTok, because you keep bringing cool stuff like that, and I never get to see any of that.
But if you
when I
followed
scroll
that
through.
and started watching it, you would see more of it. At the same time, I'm starting
Leo
to see a lot of
sees bathing
foods.
suits.
I've actually no, not anymore because I watch Salt Hanks stuff. Unfortunately, it's making me mad because all these people are copying him, or maybe they're just doing the same thing. And,
Well, see, for me, all I see is him. I don't see as many food things on there
keep
now.
watching.
I keep seeing him.
takes a little while. Yeah.
You have to watch things through, and it helps if you interact with the type of content.
Yes.
Yeah, at least
yeah.
like
So
it.
liking it.
Yeah, that
or-
makes sense. I do hit like on it.
And comment.
Plus, I find, Ant, the weirdest thing is there are good TikTok days and bad TikTok days. I'll go in one day and, oh, wow, look at all this and this music that I like and all this kind of stuff. And the next day, every single thing is stupid and boring. Maybe it's my
Yeah.
mood. I don't know. But I think I just try to test me or something. It does change.
Yeah, I get a lot of the stupid, mindless stuff that everybody thinks is funny that I never find funny, and I'm constantly scrolling through that stuff.
Well, you're a tough critic.
Even within
Mr.
2
Pruitt.
seconds, I don't care to see some of the.
2 seconds. Good God.
I try.
That's so fast.
I try because I don't want it to keep feeding it to me. You know, I don't care to see people fighting in the streets or running a race, some mindless race, or what was it, the crate thing? People were walking on crates. The second I saw a crate,
I
I'm
don't see any of that.
flipping that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's-
I'm on
the
No
crate's
Bones
dumb.
TikTok. I'm on like I don't know what other TikTok I'm on.
No bones.
I don't even have it on my new Pixel
You're not
6
on No
Pro.
Bones TikTok?
What's no bones?
Wait, Jeff,
See,
do you know about
great
Bones
music.
Days?
About what? Phone face?
Bones Day. I'm the only one on Noodle TikTok?
Oh boy.
This was like a big thing like 2 weeks ago is there's
Okay.
a pug,
Okay.
13-year-old pug on TikTok.
Yeah.
His name is Noodle.
Yeah.
And his owner puts him up and he's like, is it a Bones Day or not? And if the dog collapses,
Oh,
he's 13
yes.
and a half. So I was on that for a while and then everyone got excited about it and we all started. I was like, oh. And I'm on like,
That's what we call.
really?
We TikTok people call a trend.
Yeah. Well,
That
no,
was
it's
the
totally
bone,
a trend.
The
but,
Bone
like,
State trend.
What do you
Yeah.
mean we?
So, Ant, you'd probably like this one. Joe Spins the Globe is a guy at the McMurdo Antarctic Station. There's a few people down there who are on TikTok from Antarctica. It's got nothing
I've
better to do.
enjoyed those, yeah, because you really get a sense of
You do,
know,
it's
what's
great.
going on. Yeah. He just left, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah,
Another
he
cool
just
thing
left.
you can do at McMurdo Station is go down the observation tube. It's real small, it's smaller than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I wouldn't fit.
Wow, but I mean, this is what
Wait, let it go. You're going to see something neat.
this is what social media
Sometimes your
does
knees
so
get
well.
bunched up and you're like, I'm stuck.
So I'm down at the bottom of this tube right now.
Wow.
Isn't
and
this
this
cool?
is amazing.
It's under the
only
ice.
light coming through is the light coming through the ice, and it's everything's so blue. I'm looking around for any seals. I don't see anything right now. I'm going to sit here for a minute or two and then let my friends come down.
I'd be a little nervous actually down there. It's scary.
That's amazing.
That's very cool.
I take that back, Mr. Jarvis. I did see one just the other day. Someone that loves ocean stuff, and they go around to different beaches and picking up the jellyfish that are washed up the shore and throwing them back. And he tells a good story about the shrimp and getting parasites
is
off
he in the
shrimp.
P&W?
I don't remember their name.
Oh, I've got a
Pacific
P&W.
Northwest.
Pacific
that's where she
Northwest,
lives.
Yeah.
but I don't remember his name.
Oh,
Or is,
because I have this dude who
His
does
name,
that
sex,
on
or
like
his
our local
location.
beaches.
oh, that's neat.
What is it?
Actually, that's a big thing right now, and Renee Ritchie was talking about that on Tuesday, particularly on Twitch, but and YouTube. But they're raising money to clean sea garbage. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I always wonder how real some of these are.
The garbage patch.
Well, no, because yes, the garbage patch is one problem, but let me show you. It's the hashtag. I'm trying to remember, but I have it here in the rundown from. It's hashtag Team Seas. If you go to Team SEAS, they have raised $14.3 million and removed 14.3 million pounds from
Out of how much? I
plastic.
want the denominator.
Well, that's a good question. But look, even Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, because it is a YouTube kind of YouTubers doing it, she gave $350,000.
But what do you do with this plastic? I mean, it's not like
you put it in the dump.
Landfill.
They recycle it. Yeah. Well, they also make it into bracelets. I'm not against. You buy the bracelet, and it's
You guys.
And then you
so
throw those
cynical.
away. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the great Mandela.
You can turn it into mice for Microsoft. Anyway, I think actually this is quite legitimate, and it's been doing very well, both through YouTube and I think through Twitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they've started not so long ago, and they're already up to 14.3 million, which is pretty good. All right, let's do our Google. You know what? Play the drums.
You forgot. Only 2 weeks gone, and you forgot already what to call it.
Change log. I'm just waiting for him to press the button.
The Google change log.
I think it wasn't I who forgot. I'm just saying there were others involved in the change log.
Oh, pass the buck. Jeez.
Google is taking signups for something new, a speech assistant that recognizes impaired speech. They call it Relate. We saw this at Google I/O. I don't think it was last year, was it? Maybe
I think it was year before last.
It was the year before last. G.co/Project Relate. You can sign up, be included in beta. You actually have to, if you provide it with examples of you talking, they need at least 500 phrases to be trained. So that's going to take you a while, half an hour to an hour and a half to record. You could do it at your own pace. You'll need an Android phone running Android 8 or later. And you even can explain what it is. Is it your accent? Are there other issues making speech difficult? What country do you live in? I think that's kind of going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Google, they've been talking for a long time about this because, of course, if you're Scottish, the Google Assistant has no idea what you're saying.
Or do other people? I mean, let's be real.
I'm joking. Google Assistant no longer offers your news update audio digests. No. As of, let's see, they started, you could say, hey, you know who, play me the news. They started this 2 years ago, but as for always with Google, they got tired of it. 2 years later,
shocking.
It's gone. It's gone. Although I do want to mention they're showing in this a picture of the Google Home Assistant speaker, and Paul Thurrott reminded me that Google's got some pretty good Black Friday deals coming up, including $50 off or $40 off the Google Assistant, the nice speaker. So it'll be $59.99. So you might want to know those.
For those?
Yes.
That might be
Fancy.
That's a nice value.
They sound really good. They're my favorite of all the new generation $99 smart speakers. That was my favorite because it wasn't super bassy and it paid attention to the mid range.
Yeah, that's why I was very sad about the Google Home Max, which I love and I listen to every morning. They discontinued that, but it sounds like it was pretty big. It sounds like these sound almost as good, right? So
I never had the Max, so I can't compare it. I just compared apples to apples.
Yeah. Save $50 on a Pixel 5a. That'll be down to $399. $10 on a Chromecast with Google TV, down to $40. A Nest Cam, $30 off, $150 instead of $180. The Nest Doorbell, the Nest Hub, which I really like, by the way. I'm a big fan of the Nest Hub, although I prefer the Max. The Nest Cam with floodlight, and then the Nest Audio is what they call that, $40 off. That's $59. I'm thinking of buying a few of them. I really think that's great. The Nest Wi-Fi router, not a fan. Those are on sale, as is the Nest thermostat, down to $100. So those are the Black Friday deals. So I think it's the 18th.
Reverb Mike in the chat, $50 off, then they'll discontinue them.
Yeah, it could be.
Sounds about right.
But you know what? The Google Home Max is discontinued. It still works. I still love it.
Yeah.
Still a great thing.
I still have my Lenovo Google Display running around after
those
4
are great.
years.
Yeah, I think they're great.
Yeah.
They're, I put all of the pictures we took in Mexico, plus all the pictures Mike took. He created a Google Photos shared
album?
notebook album. Yeah, shared album. And those are all going into my Nest Hub Max. So I've got a slideshow, and it's like already in there.
Cool. Nice.
I love that. I think that's just a nice thing. I really like that.
So Stacey, I think I'm going through the same thing you went through on the phone. It was supposed to be delivered today, and now it suddenly says no status updates, no date. This morning it was supposedly in Chicago. Same thing happened to you?
Yeah, but it did arrive.
How long did it finally take?
It arrived Friday, so October 27th to the 5th.
So this was last Wednesday?
You'll get yours on Black Friday, sir. It'll be right on time.
It'll happen, Jeff.
Always the optimist, Mr. Ant. Always looking at the bright side of things.
I bet you'll have it this time next week, Jeff. And then you can have the advantage from our show and be like, okay, the case sucks. Okay.
What's on your
need to fix
sweater,
this.
Stacy?
You
What
can
is the
confirm.
design on your sweater? What is that?
It's my Frida Kahlo robots.
They're Frida Kahlo robots?
Very cool.
Wow.
I mean,
Nice.
I don't actually know if that's what they are, but yeah, I've worn this before, and y'all have all
Yeah, I always
been
like it.
intrigued.
Yeah, I remember it now. Google Home 2.46 for Android. Finally, the Android Google TV remote on the phone. They actually have a very good remote for the Google TV. I like it a lot, but it's nice because it's small, easy to misplace. Now the Google Home app will have a built-in remote control for your Android and Google TV. Yay, that's good news. If you do get the Nest Hub, the second generation, there's going to be an update. You said you were using it for sleep tracking, right, Stacey?
Actually, now it's on my desk, but I have used it for sleep tracking.
The second
What am I going to
gen
get?
Updates will add sleep stages and localized snore detection. I thought you already had that.
I have this
And
localized snore
tracking.
detection, and
Now free until 2023. Maybe that's the new thing. No longer.
Well, they said that they were going to charge. They said when they launched it, they said we don't know how. Like it's free for now, is what they said.
Well,
and then when you push them on that, they said, well, we don't know what's going to happen, in the future.
And
So
maybe
now they're basically saying
they've improved it too, because any coughing and snoring that happens outside your area will not appear in your snoring timeline, but in the other sounds timeline. So
that's good. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if my
Farts
husband
at night.
Yeah.
doesn't, well, sometimes he snores. He doesn't admit it, but
right.
he
But now
sometimes
you'll have,
snores. So
yeah, you'll be in the other section. Calm, medication from calm.com, a sponsor of our shows. Sleep sensing free through 2022, but that it will become part of Fitbit Premium in 2023. That's $10 a month or $80 annually. But you like that sleep feature, Stacey.
I have used it and I do like it.
Yeah. Finally, if you've got a Pixel 6,
I don't know what to think about this.
stay tuned. Adaptive sound appears to be rolling out now. Now, I've had adaptive sound in my Samsung devices for a long time, and actually it's a feature I love.
What do you love about it? I haven't experienced it before. All I know is these little speakers are super duper tiny.
They're good.
I don't know
you think
I don't know what to expect, from a tiny speaker from a fidelity
Well, no, but it also will work. I think it'll work with headphones too. So I don't know. Well, maybe not. To help combat, adaptive sound feature uses your on-device microphone to assess surrounding, you're right, audio levels and acoustics, and adjust the equalizer to produce better sounds.
But I mean, it's tiny speakers.
Let me play some music.
Booming sound.
Let me play some music because I have to say, the speakers on this phone are the best I've
They are
heard.
loud. I know that much.
Yeah. What can I play that I won't get in trouble?
Nothing.
Oh, play the Renaissance Fair, Ren Fair.
Yeah.
You do the opening of the IoT podcast.
I love that song, by
Let's
the way.
see, Mysterious Moods, dinner music playlists. Yeah, no, I've tried that before. That's not my dinner party. I know, a podcast would probably work, wouldn't it?
IoT podcast.
There we go. You won't sue me if I play that, right?
I promise I will not.
Actually, I think I'll just play this show. Let me see. How do I get it to play? Okay. I think this. I don't know if this is going to communicate, but I think the speakers are quite good on this.
I know they're loud, and so loud they vibrate the skin on my hand.
Next week, also joining me, Stacey Higginbotham, Jeff Jarvis, and Ant Pruitt. We talk about how Facebook
I think it sounds pretty good. You probably can't really tell.
Ant shares his views on the Pixel 6 Pro and specifically about the photo capabilities
clear.
of the device. Zillow,
It's better if I play some music, but I actually. How do I stop it?
Yeah, Android 12.
Android 12. It's a learning curve.
Android 12.
Adaptive sound. I thought this was going to be the adaptive sound that it has. I have on the Samsung, which I love. You put in headphones, and it plays like an audiologist would. Tones, left ear, right ear. You say, I hear that, I don't hear that, I hear that, I hear that. And then it adapts a curve for your particular hearing abilities. And
that would be awesome.
Is fantastic. This is not that.
That would be awesome.
So I apologize. I thought
My jobbers have that.
Your jodhpurs?
Jabra.
You wear jodhpurs?
Jabras. I do not wear jodhpurs. Only when I'm writing, which is never.
And that's the Google changelog.
John's a little slow on the uptake today.
It's not
is
Jimmer.
he doing a hand sign trying to show us that you're holding him hostage?
It's Burke. Did you see this is completely not germane to anything. The graph in Axios about the average wholesale used vehicle value. Look at that spike.
Yeah.
And this is
crazy.
this is the same reason that Pixel 6 is delayed. This is that supply chain thing. And new cars are basically unobtainable. So used vehicles have jumped 9.2% over the last month.
Man.
That means that the value of a used vehicle is 38% higher than the same car a year ago. So, wow.
I should sell my car now.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually not a good time normally for used cars because this is when the new cars, the new model year comes out and used car sales plummet, but not so because you can't get anything. You can't get anything.
Zip around on my little scooter.
Did you see, I haven't posted, I should post it. I have a new tricycle.
Really? You got a trike?
I look like a dork. I had a recumbent trike that, but the problem with that is you're really low to the ground and people would throw bottles of beer at me. So
and other things.
Yeah. So I bought a high up in the air tricycle. And now I just look like an old guy.
What is that? Yeah, do you have a picture of that?
Well, I can show it on the website. I have not
That's
yet.
what I mean.
I have not yet.
Oh, we want to see pictures of you.
Yeah, I've not yet posted
the
pictures.
Discord is delivering. I just want you to know that.
They have pictures of me riding my trike?
Mashed potato.
No, they're just delivering some
Well, that
high-quality
looks a little bit
tricycle
like
images.
that. I look a little bit like that. Yeah. No, it's bigger. It's bigger than that. This is it. It's pretty silly. There it is. This is what I got.
That's nice.
No, you got
That's
an old
adorable.
lady
That's not
thing?
silly.
But it's got a big basket. I can take
Old
groceries.
ladies are awesome.
Well,
That's an old lady thing.
honestly thought that I'd be much less likely to have beer bottles thrown at me because they'd feel sorry for me.
No, now you're just making insults thrown at you.
Sorry for you.
They wouldn't throw, because when you're recumbent, you look like there's like a toot going on. Like, oh no, my bike's better than you because I pedal forward instead of down. I have more power. Plus, you got flags and stuff, and they throw beer bottles at you all the time. All the people that pick up trucks, instead of rolling coal, they just throw bottles out the window at you.
This is like you're
That's
the
like
Wicked Witch from the
assault.
West and trying to take Toto in the back of the bike.
Yeah, I'm really literally like Elvira Gulch.
E-bikes, they have the big basket so you can actually carry, so the bike becomes more
I
utilitarian
could totally
as
do
a
that.
vehicle.
Yes. Well, the reason I
That's
got
like a
it
thing.
is because of the supply chain shortage. Because Lisa's car has been delayed. We've been a one-car family. I thought, well, Lisa, don't worry. I'll ride my trike to work.
No, you don't want to do that.
Not yet. Too soon. Did you see this? This will be my pick of the week. I guess you put this in, Jeff. I don't know. Twitter TV.
Yes,
turned
I did.
Any Twitter account into a screensaver. So let's just do Jeff Jarvis.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're going to find out how much you've been tweeting, boy. Hey, we are loading Jeff Jarvis. Just a second. This is my new
Mezcal.
my new screensaver.
Yeah.
What it
It would
does
be a good
is...
screensaver. It never static.
Never sits
No,
still.
you're going to get an error for him, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Because you don't post enough photos.
Oh, it's from...
He wants photos.
He wants photos.
So,
I
it worked for
suggest
me last
put
time I
in
tried it.
Santi Photo or Rick Salmon.
Rick Salmon, I love it. R-I-C-K S-A-L-M-O-N?
S-A-M-M-O-N.
Oh, that's right, Salmon. Yeah. Yeah, okay. This will be better because he's one of my favorite photographers. Does some great stuff.
It's still broken.
Oh,
You
you
know
broke
what?
it.
We broke it.
You broke it. So what it does is it takes photos out of your Twitter feed, makes it a screensaver. I'm old enough to remember when we cared about screensavers. I remember Rupert Murdoch tried to buy, or I think he bought the company that the whole idea was we own the screensaver. And I thought at the time, that's when you go to the bathroom.
Who has
No,
a
we're going to
screensaver?
put news on the screensaver.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the name? Pointcast. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was the
Was that
idea was that Pointcast, and this is 2004, that Pointcast would download all your news and then put it up in a screensaver or some sort of form or fashion. So you'd see
Yeah, I
it.
think that was it.
Yeah, it was, and I remember we all had it at the site on MSNBC. And so when you first came in and turned on your computer, everybody turned on the computer at the same time at 9 in the morning. The internet just slugged to a crawl because everybody's Pointcast was downloading the latest news.
They
So.
would ceased operations in 2000.
It's working
Founded
for
in
me.
1992.
Oh, you know what? I'm on Linux.
Oh, imagine that.
Oh.
It's
Let
working
me
for
just open the terminal here and see if I can.
Yeah, News Corp did buy Pointcast.
Ah, there you go. So that was the one you were
among
talking
his
about.
many, many internet failures.
He's
That was one.
just never, ever.
All right, so I've got a chip question. Can I go into that?
Yeah. You could talk about Farhad?
Yeah. So he fells over Apple's chip and how important it is because how fast it is.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering whether speed and power is what matters, or whether I'm interested in the tensor for what specific functionality of AI and such that it brings down to the device level. What's the more important thing going forward?
Well, actually, Apple's doing exactly the same thing with their chips that Google's doing with theirs. Both companies are designing chips specifically for the hardware and software platform. So, in fact, there is the same kind of AI in Apple's chips. They have a whole module devoted to it. What's happening? I'm not sure I'd agree with Farhad, who's really going crazy. But what's interesting is because we're down to such chip densities now, literally billions of transistors on a chip in these new Apple chips. I think it was 57 billion on the top of the line chip. Because they're 5 nanometer, the next generation will be 3 nanometer. So such density,
trouble with
there's a lot of room. So what they're doing on these big systems on a chip is they're putting the RAM in there, which means the RAM's available to both the graphics processor and the CPU, and at high speed. So instead of being kind of a graphics card that maybe has 25 or 64, it has a limited amount of room on it. Now it's all the memory is available to it. That's not being used by the operating system or your apps, and it's operating at a much higher speed because it's on the chips itself. There's all these units that Apple's putting in, high performance and high efficiency cores. I think it's a big breakthrough compared with what Intel and AMD are doing. But more importantly, it's doing it at a very much lower power. Now, we've only seen the laptop chips. I think Apple's going to do desktop chips that are just going to blow these away. They'll be at 3 nanometers. They'll have 40 cores. They'll be very, very powerful chips, and it's going to be very hard for anybody else to come close. Google's Tensor is similar, but Apple's been creating these chips for more than 10 years. When the iPhone came out, they started making their own chips. So Apple has a little bit of a head start in this. So I don't know. I haven't read this article.
Google's been making their own networking.
Sure, these TPUs.
Oh, no, they haven't been making their own
Tensor's
networking
based on the TPUs, yeah.
TPUs, yeah.
Never mind. I would go away.
All I know is this Pixel 6 Pro is way faster than the 4.
Partly that's the 120 hertz too, though, right?
It's
The
so
faster
much
display.
more responsive.
Yeah.
Way better. I like it.
It's interesting that Farhad wrote this opinion piece in the New York Times of what's, chip nerds like Stacey geek out over this stuff.
That's why I was asking.
And I'm surprised that he thinks that anybody cares. And then reads the op-ed page.
So no, people. Some of my biggest chip stories have been when you explain what it means. I don't think he actually did the best job explaining it.
Right.
I think if you look at the architecture shift here, the biggest thing, and I said this when a couple shows ago when we talked about this is a chip designed for graphical workloads, and it's a chip designed to process in parallel. And that's a big shift from how chips were made in the past, unless you were doing a graphics chip. But AI requires parallelization, as do graphics. The message here is, if you look at chips as tea leaves to see what's happening, is that everything we're going to put computing in needs to be able to do and perform robust graphics and make its own, like, run neural networks. That's it. So where we're going is every computer if you're doing the metaverse, it's going to be part of computing, that sort of thing. If you're thinking simple, just AR or VR, simple AR, it's for that. I mean, that's the big sea change that's happened here. I don't think he does a good job articulating it.
I think he's right in one regard, which is there is something happening. There's definitely something happening. And you make a really good point, and I think we talk about this a lot on MacBreak Weekly, but I think what you're really seeing is Apple moving along with chips that are very specific to the hardware and software. They have the advantage of making the whole stack. And that's going to give them
for years.
Well, it's going to give them
the real advantage here. They
had to buy off the shelf parts from Intel, though, which were not as tuned to what they wanted to do.
What they did here, the significant thing that they did, though, is they built a network fabric for the system on a chip that handles the data in parallel and pulls from that code,
absolutely
like the co-operated,
big deal.
co-located RAM. Yeah. So that's what's exciting here. And it's not that it's designed for the hardware, because we've actually been designing chips for specific apps and for hardware for quite some time. What's cool here is the memory bandwidth constraint. Like, we'd been fighting when I started covering supercomputers 2 decades ago. That was our big issue, right? That they were trying to solve, the memory bandwidth problem. But now every computer that we have is computing like a freaking supercomputer, because we've got AI that's ubiquitous and because we need it for the graphics profiles. And it's awesome. And that's the cool thing that they did. I'm so sorry, but this is like Stacey's favorite thing.
Well, this is why I put it in there. I wanted to hear what you said. Yep, thank you.
Memory bandwidth, solving a huge problem with building a network fabric. Okay. No one would ever read my column in the New York Times on that, though.
Well, yeah, and it's actually, I think it's even more than that. It's low power. It's massively parallel. You're right. The incredible bandwidth is just out of the park. But I don't think you can disregard the fact that Apple owns the whole stack, and a company that can make everything instead of buying off-the-shelf parts, which is unfortunately what Google still does. Who made this Tensor chip? We're not sure, but it's probably Samsung. It's a different deal. I mean, I'm sure Google designed the Tensor chip, but they still had to use, I don't know what. Probably an Exynos is the CPU. It's not yet to that level of integration that Apple I think, completely owns at this point. There's no one else who's doing it all. In fact, some have said this chip is essentially a Swift machine. And it's designed to run Swift,
which is what they want.
Apple's programming.
Cloud server companies have been building chips for their workloads. And if you think of the way the servers with the OPC, the Open Compute Foundation, or OPF, Open Compute Foundation? Yeah. OCF. So all that's basically commodity hardware. But they've designed the chips specific to the workload, not the hardware. And that's been happening for a decade. So, I get what you're saying here, but we don't have commodity hardware in phones really yet. I don't know. I'm politely saying I disagree with your assessment that the big thing is Apple's building their chips for the hardware. I think it's...
Well, I agree. I completely agree with you. It's memory bandwidth, but it's not just memory bandwidth. There's a whole lot of other things going on here. For instance, when you're writing in Swift, there's certain instructions that you use a lot, and Apple literally made this chip optimized for those particular instructions. That means performance through the roof, and that's something that somebody who doesn't make the chips. Open Compute's fine. I mean, that's a server platform. That's a very narrow slice of... I mean, we're talking about general purpose computing too.
People... So, but I know, but on the server side, they've been designing the chips for the application because they don't have to care about the hardware. So, and you could argue that, Apple's designing for the hardware and the applications.
They're designing for the whole stack, the hardware, the software, the programming language, the uses. And furthermore, they're planning for things like AI, AR. They're planning for advanced uses. And because they are designing the whole thing, they have a huge advantage that no one who's buying off-the-shelf parts can meet. And that's why AMD and Intel just can't compete. They have to design a general-purpose chip. They're not building open compute chips specifically. They're building general-purpose chips. In fact, Alder Lake, which competes, I guess, to some degree in terms of pure clock speed and performance, does it at 250 watts. So
yeah,
it's not a.
But Intel has been sucking at price performance per watt since like.
Oh, but that's
like
the number
2008.
One guy, right? That's,
I know. They optimized for the wrong things as we moved into server computing with monolithic apps, right? And that was a big problem for them. Then they tried to course correct, but then they had Brian Krasinski. I don't know how to say his name. It's Krasinski, whatever.
Krasinski, you're right. Krasinski, yeah.
And he just took them way the heck off track.
Yeah, Krasinski.
Krasinski.
I had to think. Now it's Gelsinger. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to get your picks of the week because it is late. It is time to wrap this puppy up. I hate to stop. I love the conversation. If you follow our conversations and you're interested in this kind of stuff, perhaps you've been thinking, if there were only some way I could capitalize on my knowledge of the tech industry, if I only had the access to the deal flow that these top investors have, I would probably be buying an island in Hawaii right about now. Well, I want to tell you about Our Crowd because this is exactly what Our Crowd is all about. Our Crowd is an investment company, VCs. They have their own portfolio, they have their own investments, but they also have deal flow, and they're willing to let you in on it. Go ahead, you just go down and ask John Doerr if he'll let you in on his next big deal. No, he won't, but Our Crowd will. All around the world, there are amazing startups, amazing tech companies that are innovating, driving returns for investors. The problem is we only learn about them when they go public, when they make an exit. Our Crowd is analyzing companies across the global private market, looking at companies with the greatest growth potential, early stage companies, then brings them to you from personalized medicine. That's going to be very hot in the next few years. Cybersecurity, that's hot today. Robotics, even things like quantum computing and more. In state-of-the-art labs and startup garages, anywhere in between, Our Crowd is identifying innovators so you can invest when the growth potential is the greatest, early. Our Crowd is the fastest growing venture capital investment community in the world. Their accredited investors have already invested over $1 billion in growing tech companies. 29 of their portfolio companies are unicorns worth $1 billion or more. Many of Our Crowd members have benefited from over 40 IPOs or sale exits of portfolio companies. If you go to the website, you can see the companies and the exits, and you'll see some big name exits. Now, it's too late to get in on those, but now it's time to get in on some new deals. Now, I have to say there's some limitations. So you need to be an accredited investor. You need to know what you're doing, and every country has different rules for accredited investors. So I want you to go to ourcrowd.com/twig, and you can say what country you're in, and you can say, and you'll see what the rules are. But once you're an accredited investor, you can participate in single company deals for as little as $10,000. They have funds. You can buy in for as little as $50,000, but a minimum of 10. I just want to be upfront with you. A minimum of 10,000 is required to invest. And again, you have to qualify. You have to have a certain net worth and so forth, because they don't want you spending the rent money on this. Go to the site, enter the country you're visiting from. You can see what the requirements are. I'll give you an example, though, of some of the investments. This one is available right now. You can invest right now in Intellact, Intellact. Their transportation innovation could save the airline industry $3 billion a year. What are they doing? They're using machine learning to improve safety, to recognize hazards, and reduce delays. Already in use at major international airports, serving over 100 million passengers annually. but they're still very early stage. Now's the time to get in, and you can at Our Crowd, OURCROWD. This is just one of a number of investments. Again, this is intended for savvy investors. But if you're looking for a little something extra to do beyond, buying stocks, diamond hands with your AMC stock, this is something I always wanted to do. I can't because I can't invest in anything that we might cover. But I always felt like, Josh, I'm watching all these companies and all my friends invest in these companies and they're all making lots of money. How do you get in? How do you get this deal flow? This is a way to do it. OurCrowd.com/twig. By the way, it's free to join. Find out if you're, you reach the threshold for accredited investor, and then read up on all this stuff. You can completely do it as a tourist and just enjoy it. But you might find something that you go, I really want to get in on that one. Our Crowd, OurCrowd.com/twig. It's the fastest growing venture capital investment community out there. OurCrowd.com/twig. And I thought, this is something I think I should tell people about. I think it's pretty cool. Our Crowd. Now it's time for Stacey's Thing of the Week.
Or Jeff. Just Jeff.
You should hear Verge go, oops. Sorry. Whoops. I'm sorry. No, that's not it. Press that other button, Burke. What do you got there? Press a button. Come on, any button. There it is, Stacey. Yeah. Stacey on IoT.com, at GigaStacey, this IoT podcast, chip guru, and robot lover.
Okay, yes. This week, my pick is, I'm just going to tell you something. This is your last minute Christmas gift from me to you. So we did our gift guide. And one of the things, given the supply chain issues that we're having, if you need a last minute gift, might I suggest subscriptions? And unfortunately, I was thinking about like all the smart home things or a Peloton subscription. None of these people make it easy because it's all tied to your account. So the best way to do this and to make a cute gift is to buy a Visa card or MasterCard gift card in a prepaid amount, set that up and tell them what it's for the amount of the subscription. So they will enter that in as their credit card for that. And then I would wrap it with like a water bottle if you're going to give someone a sporting app, or a thing of popcorn if you're going to do a streaming subscription. Those do have gift cards available, by the way. And yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there because these are dead easy to find. It's a little bit less, you're not buying someone cash. You're recognizing that, hey, I know you have this Nest Cam and maybe you don't want to buy the Nest Wear subscription. So that was one of our gift tips, but I do think it's actually a really useful one.
I like this one. It smells like vanilla.
Oh yeah,
it's a vanilla flavored prepaid card. I like it.
You can find a lot of crazy ones.
So, and you do have other suggestions, which is great. Books, thermometers, all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
this was the dystopian gift guide. I was not feeling, I didn't want to tell people to go buy. Oh, actually, y'all would love this on this show.
Android.
This is it's a book, How They Built the Android Operating System.
I've read an excerpt from it. It's really good. Yeah.
So yeah, go out and get that for any Android lovers out there. We threw it on there because half the Internet of Things runs on Android. But,
right. Cool.
It's a great book.
There's your Apple Air tags. If you can, this is a problem though. I mean, it's probably already too late to get a lot of things you might want to get because of the chip shortage and so forth.
Well, that's why I was like, let's come up with some things.
Yeah.
Plus, I just don't feel like, given the privacy concerns we have, climate change, I'm like, God, do we really want to buy another gadget that's going to spy on you and contribute to plastic waste in the ocean?
That's true. And if you give somebody socks, you can say, I'm giving you the gift of privacy. These are private socks. And then
only you will wear them.
Only you are ever, no one will ever know you're wearing these. And it's good. Everybody, I bought them with Bitcoin, so no one knows. That's good. I like it.
What's Bitcoin?
Stacey holding up her new phone that just arrived.
Stacey's dystopian gift guide at StaceyOnIoT.com.
Show title.
Should be dark blue, kind of. Brim.
Yeah,
get that color grading corrected on here.
Bird seed.
And now, Mr. Ant Pruitt's pick.
All right. I forgot what my picks were. Had to look down at the sheet. First one.
That happens to me all the time.
That's why we put him on the sheet.
That's normal, Ant. I'm looking. I think, did I put that in there? Oh, gee.
I'm sitting here looking at this and thinking, this is my pick, but I'm sure I'm behind the times when it comes to the popular TV shows and popular movies and all of that. Well, I recently watched The Harder They Fall, starring Idris Elba and Regina King and several other notable actors, but you had me at Regina King. And it's a Western. I never watched Westerns. My dad did. He used to watch The Rifleman and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the days. I never had an interest in that stuff.
What do you do when you're branded and you know you're a man?
What is that?
Branded. You never saw that?
No.
Oh, it's got the best open ever.
No, he's a little too young.
No. But this movie was so daggum good. And it was about a 2-hour movie. Great ending, great color grading. And it looks like there's probably going to be a second one for this movie. The Harder They Fall, and it's a Netflix production. What did you find?
Can I ask for Christmas a GIF of Ant going, "What is that?"
Watch. This is the best. You know this, Jeff, right?
Oh yeah.
He's branded. Watch, they're going to tear.
This is what every kid who ever got in trouble thought was going to happen to them.
Is that Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris?
Chuck Connors, the rifleman.
Connors.
That's the rifleman.
Oh,
Watch,
okay.
they're going
Which is a really violent show.
He's been branded. Yeah. What do you do when you're branded and you know you're a man? They even take his buttons.
Wow.
Look at those cheekbones.
I know.
Yes.
I know, yeah.
He was a football star who became a TV star.
It's like Fred Dreyer.
Yeah.
Say he ran away.
Oh, I do remember hearing that now.
Go.
He was innocent.
This is when TV
Was innocent. Hard to prove.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man, they're throwing him out of the fort. That's it. He doesn't even have buttons.
Nothing.
Poor guy. No buttons.
Oh,
Chuck
gosh.
Connors is branded. Hey, at least he's got a little-
I remember hearing
stump
it.
of
You
a
know
jingle
you're a
now.
man.
Do you remember this?
I do remember
your
hearing
dad.
that jingle
I guarantee
now.
you your dad watched that.
Oh, my gosh.
This is before we had Marvel. Before he was the Chris Pratt of his day. Yeah. Branded.
That's what that was. Wow.
I was more F Troop myself.
Larry Storch is on TikTok. Actually, he got banned from TikTok. They decided it wasn't.
No.
Yes. Very mad. They thought this isn't really Larry Storch because he's like 100 years old.
So it's like,
I don't know if he's back now.
This is a
but-
fake.
Yeah. They couldn't believe it was the real Larry Storch.
What was it, Forrest
Chickenhead
Tucker? Was it-
21. I
Forrest
did not
Tucker.
say I was a fan of that
I
theme.
once
I just
stood
said I
next to
heard it.
Forrest Tucker in a urinal.
Oh, Larry Storch is back. I'm so glad they brought him back.
Justice has been served.
Oh, wait a minute. No. TikTok has denied verification for Larry. We're no longer going to post. Ageism is alive and well on this app. Between that and the bullying, we don't need it. So long, folks.
Wow.
I know.
So he's mad because he won't get verified.
Yeah, there's Larry saying goodbye to TikTok. Yeah,
it
he's shouting
happens.
out the window. Yeah. He was,
How old is Larry?
pretty old. He's getting on. Here you go.
Larry is 98.
Yeah.
Listen to that song.
He was on, what was that? What was the show? F Troop, right?
F
He
Troop.
was the comedy comedy relief on F Troop.
He was the goofy. Well, it was
There he
a
is.
comedy show.
Yeah, oh, that's right. So you can't be comedy relief on a comedy. There he is. That's a weird transformation. Watch that again. I'll turn off the sound. There he is in F Troop. There he is now. Still got the hat, though. No buttons. All right, your other pick?
A lot more color pop in this one. A lot more color pop.
Brandon and TikTok won't verify your name.
Oh, gosh. My other pick is just a shout out for congratulations and good luck to the Rancho High School here. You've heard of Cardinal Newman
Yes.
High School.
Their football power in the North Bay.
Well, Hardhead's team beat them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, baby.
And then last week they beat Windsor, the number 1 team. So now they won their league and are now in the playoffs for the North Coast sectional.
That's exciting. Congratulations.
To play for the sectional championship over the next couple of weeks. So
nice.
We're quite proud of them. And it's been a lot of fun watching these kids play.
Yeah. An insider told me they're going to win.
Really?
I heard it on Deep Background.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Can I report that?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, make sure you go and check out Wanderer's photos if time is
coming
running
up.
out.
When is that? You're going to do the photo walk in New Orleans?
Yeah, it's in January, so we're getting close. If you're going to register, you better get it in now. That's wanderersphoto.com, featuring myself, Mr. Freddie Clark, Mr. Steve Brazo, and Mr. Andrew Scrivani, who also has another class on Adobe Stock right now. Now I think about it. We're going to take you through different styles of photography in this workshop, food, concert, and street when it comes to my side.
I love New Orleans.
So it's
You're
going to
have so much fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put you to work
food.
if you come, but we'll have some fun too.
Can I have some muffaletta and jambalaya?
If you come down.
All right.
Oh
boy.
I want a buffaletta. I want any food.
Any food.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Come on.
All we got to do, all that's left, a number from Mr. JJ Jeff Jarvis.
I'll make it fast. I wasn't crazy about any of these, but I'll make it fast. Apple's first computer, one of 200, could fetch up to $500,000 at auction.
It got 400.
What?
It got 400.
It got 400,000.
You got 400? Okay.
We saw it. Yep.
Impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
It auctioned off on Tuesday. We actually caught it right at the end of the auction on Mac Break Weekly, and it went for the bottom of the range, which is surprising. Still 400,000.
Do we know how many still exist of the original 200?
That we should know. I know Mitch Waite has one that he was thinking of selling. There are a few of them out there. This was one of 50 sold at the Bite Shop, and it came with a beautiful koa wood case.
So do you have anything of great value in your museum there?
Anybody wants a Palm Pilot, I'll sell it for $500,000. No, I got nothing. I got nothing. How much does Wikipedia weigh?
So that was kind of a fun little story. You have to use translate. Maybe your Spanish is good enough after last week in El País. That if you took Wikipedia and put it onto hard drives, how much would it weigh? So about 110 pounds.
You know, you can put Wikipedia on your smartphone, and it does not weigh that much. I don't know if that article.
I don't know the story. I don't. Yeah. That's why I didn't do this one. Yeah.
Speaking of Wikipedia, if you use it, donate to them, please.
Oh, I do. I give them money every month.
$2, $5.
Yep.
Please.
I realized how much I use it and how important Wikipedia is to me, and I give them. I can't remember. I think we give them $100 a month. I would give them a lot of money because it's the single. To me, the single stellar example of what the internet can do.
Mm-hmm. It's the miracle of the net. Yeah.
It's the miracle and unbelievable. All knowledge.
Somebody I follow today, an academic librarian I follow today, wants to put up more profiles of deaf and blind people. And so she's making that her crusade, is to get more of those amazing
and
people.
And you can, because it's crowdsourced.
You can. She's doing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's let Stacey go to Waffle Heaven right now. Stacey Higginbotham, Stacey on IoT.com. It's dark in the PNW. That's good. I like the PNW.
It's so dark early.
It's dark now, man. You should listen to her podcast with Kevin Toffels, the IoT podcast, and subscribe to her newsletter at StaceyOnIoT.com. Any events coming up?
Oh, Leo, pushing the events. I love you for it, but no.
Good, I hope not. Not during holidays.
I know one event's coming up. Yeah, we're going to have the Stacey's Book Club coming to the Club Twit if you're not yet a member.
Oh, y'all, get excited. Mm-hmm. November 19th. Is it 4 o'clock, Ant?
Yes, ma'am.
4 o'clock
Pacific time.
Pacific time. It's 7 o'clock. Grab yourself a cocktail, a mocktail,
I'm going.
food of choice.
I can't wait.
We're going to read All Systems Red. It is the first novella in the Murderbot series. If you haven't heard of Murderbot, you're going to enjoy it. It's true sci-fi. We got some AI. We've got some ethics. We've got a little bit of a mystery. It's fun.
Can't wait.
by
And
Martha Wells.
will you continue with the Murderbot Diaries, you think, or will you
No, I feel like this is a chance to introduce you to something that maybe you haven't heard of, and then you can go on your own.
I hadn't, and I can't wait. I actually haven't been able to start it yet, but I will start it and read it before the event. And, 144 pages. It's a part, you can get it on Amazon. In fact, it's Kindle Unlimited if you subscribe to that.
I have the audiobook version of it, and I went through it very quickly.
Yeah, it's short.
It's great.
Sounds really cool.
What you all might enjoy, I just finished, is Cloud Cuckoo Land.
That sounds fun.
Oh, I liked that book.
From Anthony Doerr. Yeah.
What's it called again?
Cloud Cuckoo Land.
And what's it about?
It's over 3 periods. It's one book. He makes up a book and how it's preserved over different times. And I won't give away any more than that because there's a science fiction angle to it.
Nice.
Which you wouldn't expect.
Nice.
Anthony Doerr.
Future. Anthony Doerr, who also wrote DOERR.
Yep, I got
He
it.
wrote a wonderful
All the Light We Cannot See.
All the Light We Cannot See, which is quite wonderful as well.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great.
You might like it.
I shall.
I listened to it. It's very good.
You.
That there, friends, is Jeff Jarvis. Frank Sinatra called him a bum, former TV Guide critic and the director of the Townite Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at...
You need the thought.
Burke doesn't know where the button is for the
That's okay.
The Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism.
Craig Newmark.
City University of New York. Thank you, MrBuzzMachine.com and Aunt Prude, of course, hands-on photography. What's coming up on Hop?
This week, I'm going to talk with a skateboard photographer, amongst other things.
All right.
Like skaters or the boards?
A little bit of both. But some
Oh,
other
okay.
stuff too. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm
Skateboard
looking
photography is
forward
fun.
to it.
It's really fun.
It's hard.
It is. They're moving fast.
It's so
What you get
daggum
yourself
hard.
an 8mm lens. That's the trick. Then everything's in focus and everything's in the shot.
Yeah, but I don't want everything in the shot.
That was my trick anyway. You ask him and see what he says. We do This Week in Google every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's 2000 UTC. Come on, join us. You can watch us do it live at live.twit.tv, chat with us live at irc.twit.tv, or if you've joined Club Twit, you can go on the Discord and chat with us there. That's a lot of fun in the Discord. Ant, of course, is our community manager, and he'll welcome you, and there's always good stuff going on, including Stacey's book club coming up next week. Now, I have to tell you, if you're not a member, you might want to join now so you can be there for the book club.
That's right.
Easy to do. Go to Club Twit, actually twit.tv/Club Twit. It's $7 a month. You get ad-free versions of all the shows. You get the Discord server. You get the special Twit Plus feed. So some very, very good stuff, and it helps keep us on the air, which is even better.
And hopefully coming soon, bonus content with Mr. Jeff Jarvis.
Ooh.
I just got to nail down a date with you, sir, if you're okay with that.
Oh, sure.
That'd be fun. Yeah, we'd love to hear all these stories.
Right.
Why Ray Kroc called him a nickel millionaire, among others. Yeah.
Why do you call him a bum?
No, Sinatra called him a bum. Ray Kroc called him a nickel millionaire. We also make on-demand versions of the show with the ads burned in at our website, twit.tv/twig. You can see the YouTube channel if you like the video. There's a This Week in Google YouTube channel. And, of course, if you subscribe in your favorite podcast client, you'll get it automatically of a Wednesday evening. The minute we're done, the editors get to it, they fix it up, and we'll get it right out to you. And that way you can listen at your leisure. If you listen on demand, you might want to chat on demand in our Discourse server. That's our Twit forums at twit.community or on our Mastodon instance at twit.social. Both are free. We'd love to have you as part of the community. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week on This Week in Google. Bye-bye. So long.
Have you ever read a tech news story and thought to yourself, man, I would love to talk to the person who wrote this to find out more information? Well, that's exactly what Micah Sargent and I, Jason Howell, do each and every week on Tech News Weekly. We read the stories that matter to us, we reach out to the people making and breaking the tech news, and we invite them on to tell their story. And you can find it at twit.tv. Look for Tech News Weekly every Thursday.